There we go. There we go. Get that. Get that. Come on, load, motherfucker. There it is. Hey! Welcome back to the game of Skyfall 5e. Everybody, how was the week? Or 2 weeks?
Week, weeks were good.
Weeks were good?
It's a long 2 week.
Long 2 weeks.
I mean, yesterday was alright, but the rest of it was kind of meh.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what, 1 out of 14? That's not bad.
Yeah, you know. Got a cake out of it, so.
I guess the weekend was okay. My talk team made the playoffs after being like the worst piece of shit to ever step on a rink last year.
Nice, nice. Okay, well, it's good to have you all back. We're going to dive into the session here because we're starting a bit late. So last time, when you guys were playing, you had heard word of a large bus that was going to be going down in town, and it was revealed to you that the man who had hired you as bounty hunters was actually using counterfeits and was simply playing you to some strange game of his own. And the guards got wind of this, and not only did they go to take out his headquarters, but they invited you to come with as additional help if you wanted. And you guys joined. It turned out to be a harrowing battle. Multiple people almost died. Fraildass came with and ended up being semi-useful along the way. And perhaps most importantly, Falone was caught. So as we rejoin the final scene, you guys are all standing around this large building, which is just like, you know, peppered with arrows and crossbow bolts, and the streets nearby are filled with pools of blood and whatnot. There's wounded guards and dead bandits all over the place. What do you guys want to do?
Is everyone alright?
Brushing off my fur. Well, I'm no worse for the wear.
Ball just walks up to Fraildass. You have quite the throwing arm. That was a great shot.
He looks over, and you can see he's not a seasoned fighter, and having just thrown a shield that like knocked out a man, he looks like he's kind of surging with adrenaline, right? Like he's got a lot of energy running through him, and he's sort of panting on, breathing heavily there. And he looks over towards you, and he's like, "Yeah. Oh my god."
It was a good fight. Did you even get hit once?
He kind of looks down at himself as though he's like forgotten, and brushing off his clothes, he looks back at you and says, I guess I didn't." Oh
We'll
wait,
make
sorry.
a fighter out of you yet.
It says that he's been hit. No, he hasn't been hit at all. Yeah, he got super lucky. You're like super wounded though, right, Earlball?
Oh yeah.
You're like coughing blood and stuff.
I think I'm on 1 HP.
I'm at 2.
I'm going around patching people up if I can.
I know I was on 1 HP and then I got second wind.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on 12.
Okay, nice. Now, off in the alleyway, down on the other side of the building, Falone is entirely tied up, and the guard captain has started to wrap up the scene here. They are currently going through both the lower and upper floors, as well as kind of rounding up the different people, applying aid and bandages to guards that are still alive, as well as checking the different ruffians to see if any of them are still in fighting shape and are still a threat. But everything is definitely in cleanup mode at this point.
Can I go up to the guard and just try talking out of earshot of Falone if he'll allow?
Oh, sure.
I noticed you've got the men searching the building. Would you mind if myself and my friends just took a quick check through? If there's anything we find that might be of use to you, we can let you know. I hate
I'd
to
like you
ask,
to
but
make
we
a
are salvagers by trade.
I'd like you to make a perception or a persuasion roll, please.
13.
13. He looks over at you, and you see that he's definitely got a moment of pause there before kind of looking over towards Falone and the other guard, and then turning back, he says, "Alright, be quick about it."
Yes, of course. I appreciate it.
He gives you a nod. It's the kind of nod that somebody would use as like a secret signal almost, like he means more than just a nod by doing it. But it seems that you have the go-ahead to search through the house.
I'll come back to my comrades here and just see how everybody's doing.
Sure. It seems almost everybody is wounded, but aid is being administered, and Mackinac is kind of going around seeing to everybody's wounds, and same with Lenry.
Is anybody in any shape to have a quick go of the house? Or are we all occupied out here?
I point to Gaius. I think he needs some rest.
Well, yes, I didn't expect him to come help right now.
Guys, are you
Sleeping on the
unconscious?
No, I don't. I think someone gave me a little. Yeah, because I gave someone else a healing word. Someone gave me a healing word to bring me up.
Okay, so you're just like haggard there on the ground kind of thing.
Yeah, I'll turn to him and just say, I'm gonna sit this one out for just a little bit. I don't feel great.
Yeah, you fought hard. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to have a quick look through anyways.
I'll
Thanks
keep
for
an eye on
saving
you.
my ass again, guys.
What was that?
Thanks for saving my ass again, guys.
Hey, that's what friends are for.
Do
Yeah,
not
it's a
worry,
good thing
guys.
that
I will
Len-
save all of
Lenny
you,
showed
not
up
just
here.
your ass.
I'll just slump back against the wall and just like, right, yeah, spot of rest. Just gonna sit back.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'll see
Hmm.
how these guys are doing then. Earl, perhaps you should get some attention over there. You don't look too good.
Fine. He just sort of slowly walks over.
And Freldis, you're unhurt. Good job.
You see he's over by one of the bodies here, picking up a shield off the ground. And when he puts it back in his arm, he turns to you and gives you a nod. And you can see that his shield has caught a number of different arrows. Or crossbow bolts, rather.
Well, that's definitely making good use of your equipment.
Oh, that was intense. I didn't expect it to be like that.
Yes, well, you definitely did quite well.
Well, what do we do now?
Well, the others are healing up right now. I'm going to go inside and have a quick look around and see if there is anything that perhaps the guards may have missed as they search the building. You can join me if you like, or you can always wait with the others. I don't think I'll be long inside.
You see he kind of like looks over at the group of wounded by the alleyway, and then he slumps his shoulder over his, his shield over his shoulder, and he goes, "Okay, yeah, let's go in."
All right, well, let's go then. Friends, we'll be right back. And I'll head in and start trying to do a thorough search of the place.
Okay. The interior of the first floor is in pretty good condition. There's definitely some blood close to the front of the doors where your combat had taken place, but behind the bar, things are fine. You can even see that there's bottles there which are intact. It's not like everything is smashed and ruined. And over in the corner where there's little tables and the dining area, those tables look more or less untouched. You could go and sit there and expect to have a meal just like you're at a normal tavern, like nothing's really scuffed up. There's a back room behind the bar, and there's also, let's see, a number of windows across the walls, kind of giving like a nice little look out into the streets.
All right, given
There's
what
two
it
guards in here,
looks
by the
like
way,
in
looking
here.
around.
Oh, okay. As I go in, I'll just try to get their attention. The captain's given me the okay to have a quick look around. Another set of eyes to assist. I won't be in here long, don't worry.
He kind of looks at you, and then looks at the other guard, and one of them gives a nod, and then he kind of turns back and goes, "Alright, well, don't mess with anything important. Still going through things here."
Of course, if I find anything that you'll need to know, I'll bring it to you right away.
He gives you a nod. And then
As soon as...
one of them
sorry.
points to the door behind the bar and says, stairs are over there.
To have a quick look here and upstairs, and then I'll be out of your way. So, if I can go over here, I mean, I don't think there's gonna be much in the middle of this room. I'll take a quick peek, like, behind the bar, and see if there's anything there.
Investigation, please.
Where's my investigation? So there's a 20.
A 20. Okay. Looking around, you can see that the back end of the bar is kind of disused. There's a good number of bottles on the back wall to give the impression like this is a thriving business, but underneath the counter, there's very little. There's like glasses and things like that. You do, however, notice that there seems to be a lockbox underneath the counter, and in one area, it's like a solid metal case which sits there. You can
How
see
big is this case?
the case is clearly locked, and it's about the size of a shoebox.
Like, can I pick it up out of where it is?
It doesn't appear to be bolted down, though just from looking at it, it looks heavy. Whoever made this didn't make it with, like, a thin sheet of aluminum. It's like, like a steel plate kind of thing.
I'm just gonna... Can't get in there for now. I'm gonna leave it there for now, and... Can I get in this back door of this room here?
Sure. The back door opens easily, and you see what looks like a stairwell that goes leading up to the second floor. And that stairwell is currently empty. There's nobody there, but there are bodies laying all over the place. You see what looks like 2 dead bandits that are kind of slumped, one on the actual steps themselves and another at the floor. And he has like a short sword embedded through his skull, and the other one is just like got this long trail of crimson that sort of goes from where he is currently on the steps and sort of waterfalls down the rest of them.
So I don't really want to loot the bodies too much, but I'll take a peek. Like, if they've got any, just look in their pockets and see if they've got any, like, paper or notes or, like, keys or anything out of the ordinary.
Sure.
If they've got coins or whatever, I'll just leave it.
We'll use your previous roll, and then when you get to the second floor, we'll make you do a new one. Let's see what these guys have on them. Let's roll luck. Giving it a quick look, you find that the one at the very bottom of the steps is wearing nothing of value, but the other one still has his coin purse intact, and you can see it there. It's easy to miss, but like kind of covered in red, making it almost blend in with the steps. There's like a small little pouch there still attached to his belt. You can take it if you want. It'll get some blood on your hands, but it is there and easily accessible.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna grab that for now. I don't really want to see what's in it right now. I'm just gonna take it, pocket
Sure.
it, and then...
You can add a bloody pouch to your inventory.
Okay, and I'll head upstairs and see what the scene is up there.
The upstairs area is a lot more grisly than the downstairs, and at the back door, where you know the little like set of steps leads up to, you can see that the door is completely broken off of its hinges and lays on the ground, and there's like a smashed table nearby and a broken chair, a few bodies, a whole bunch of blood, and the room is like filled with crossbow shots that have landed in different walls and whatnot. There's a set of 3 guards who are upstairs here as well, and they seem to be looking around all over the place. It seems to be where most of the tavern's rooms are, and it has been sectioned off into like a little waiting area, a very short hall, and a couple of rooms.
Well, I guess I'll just... Hopefully the guards don't really give me too much trouble, and just try to do a sweep of the area and check the rooms and just see if there's anything I can find.
Sure, okay. I'd like you to roll a new investigation roll.
That's not so good. That's a 5.
Okay. Let's see. Let's roll luck for you. Alright. The upstairs area is already pretty looted as far as the guard seems to have been concerned. The bodies of the bandits, though laying around all over the place, have been scoured of items. You see that their weapons have been taken, and they've kind of been piled up over near the door where a guard currently is, kind of going through, I suppose, the spoils or the evidence from the fight. And as you go from one room to the next, you find that they're very barren, and there's nothing to really take unless you're the kind of person to steal a towel from a tavern room kind of thing. And the final end hallway leads to the wall where all of the windows are that face out into the street. And there you can see crossbows and bolts that you could take if you want, but nothing else of value.
Okay, well, with not finding much up there, I'm gonna come back down the stairs, and when I come out here, I'm just gonna yell at this guard. Hey, guard.
Kind of looks over at you. Yeah. What do you need?
I'm gonna throw him the coin purse that I found. I found this in the staircase. I think someone might have missed it.
He catches the bloody bag. You see he kind of, pulls his hand away from it, like, ugh, and then looks at the thing and he goes, nice catch. You hear the sound of coin when it lands in his hand.
Question for you. There's this lockbox over here. You see, I've got the shop with some friends of mine. We actually were broken into the other day. Do you think it'd be alright if we took this lockbox? We've got some stuff we'd like to keep secure.
He kind of steps over towards you at this, and the other one does too. And when they come up, one of them says, "So you just want the box?"
Well, yes. I could use it to store things and keep them safe back at our shop. I mean, it's not the safest city that we live in. You do a very good job, but there are quite a lot of shady individuals here.
The two kind of look at one another, and one of them shrugs, and the other one goes, "Alright, well, I don't have any tools. If you want to try and pick the thing, go for it."
Yeah, well, we've got lots of tools at the shop. We can figure that out there. Freldis, help me carry this out.
Oh, you want to take this to the shop?
Oh, yeah, I want the lockbox.
Well, I don't know if you've picked the thing up, but we've messed with it a bit, and there's definitely something inside, so we can't just let you go take that.
Are you able to get inside of it?
The guards shake their heads. They say, "No, there's a locksmith back at HQ, but nobody here who's going to be able to get into that thing, not without breaking it."
Well, I don't believe I've got any tools, but I could always ask my friends outside. Perhaps they've got something that could help.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to take the box, we're just after what's inside. We just need to see what it is. But if you know somebody who can open the thing up, that would save us time. And none of us want to carry that thing back.
Well, let me go ask my comrade.
One of them nods, and they kind of step out of the way.
So I'll head out. Hey, friends, I have a question for all of you. Is anyone capable of picking a lock? There's a lockbox inside, and we're trying to find out what's in it.
I look at our
looks each
center.
other. Shit, we didn't get a rogue.
I don't.
I am
These
not certain if
hands
I could
remain
possibly
contained.
dismantle a lock, if that is what you are asking.
Well, perhaps you could take a look at it. It wouldn't hurt. It's quite a nice lockbox, and well, we could keep the box itself, but I'm also interested to see what's inside of it.
Let's just go inside and take a look. Gaius, please, no sudden movements. You're still a bit fragile.
Yeah, I'll stay here, against the wall. It's actually really cozy. Be surprised. Just try it. It's great. It's grand.
And with that, I'm gonna head in.
Okay. Now stepping
wait.
inside, the guards nod.
Freldis heard when we asked that, right? Like, he didn't respond to it, considering that he was a thief.
Listen, man, we don't need no thieves.
It doesn't look like he's said anything about it.
Okay.
Now, when
Hello, guards. Oh, go ahead.
they step out of the way, and you can tell Mackinac just from the way that they treat you that you guys are clear to be in here, and they just kind of let you do what you're doing.
Okay, so I'll head over to the lockbox.
Sure.
No, it's just there behind the bar.
Taking a look at it, I have proficiencies in Smith's tools, Tinker's tools. So whether I'm dismantling the actual lockbox itself or the lock itself, you know.
Oh, do you have those tools on you?
I do.
I would say that you could try and take this thing apart. Make a Tinker's roll.
What am I adding to that attribute was?
I would say probably Dex.
Oh, is there no roll thing?
What?
There's no the bouncy dice.
Oh, the bouncy dice. No, the bouncy dice are gone. I was worried the script might explode things.
Oh, okay. Let's see, 12 plus 2 proficiency. You said which abilities were?
Dex.
That's a 13.
13. Okay. You get over here, and at first things look alright. The locking mechanism here, which holds this down, is available for you to mess with. Before long, you run into a problem as a lot of the screws which are removed give way to other areas which are actually riveted in, and you would have to basically break the box. It would be unusable or in a bad state, needing repair if you wanted to keep going.
How bad would would it be easy for me to repair, given that I have the
Back at the shop, yeah, probably.
So I'll turn to Colcoat. I do not believe I can disassemble this without damaging parts of the actual enclosure.
Was it something that we could fix afterwards?
Oh, certainly. However, I'm not certain if the owner of the box would appreciate it.
Well,
Oh, don't worry, that's us.
We just need to know the contents, so if you need to bust it open, that's fine. You're the ones taking
Knowing
the
that, I
box
will
after.
continue with dismantling the box, knowing that I can probably put it back together in some way.
Okay. You get rough with these next little parts. You have the tools to do this job, but, wanted to seek confirmation first. But before long, the rivets are pushed through, and eventually, with a triumphant click, you're able to yank out the entire locking mechanism and open up this chest. Inside of the chest, you find what looks to be a considerable fortune that's been concealed in here. There is a bag of gems open at the bottom, as well as a stack of papers and a single gold bar. Now, from your angle, you're the only person who can see this. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna carefully take out the contents and start putting them on top of the bar here.
One of the guards, upon seeing the contents come out, just goes, "Holy Christ. Fuck me, by the gods, that's a lot of money."
I don't think I've ever seen such a big gold bar like that. It's to be worth a fortune.
Hundreds at least.
I believe it'd be worth precisely however much money it's worth.
Okay, you look at the bar.
3 gold
It's got an imprint on the top that shows how much it's worth. And yeah, from your angle, you can see that according to the small lettering, it's worth 500 gold. And one of the guards just goes like, "Damn." Now you put everything on there, right?
Yes, I'm carefully taking out the bag of gems, placing it on there, taking out the gold brick, placing it on there, taking out the papers, being careful not to damage them in any way, putting
Sure.
them on there.
The guards come over, and one of them goes, "Damn, okay, go get the captain. He's gonna want to see this." And the other one leaves.
While doing so, can I inspect the inside of the lockbox and just check for a hidden compartment of some sort,
Oh, interesting.
just in case?
Yeah, make an investigation check.
While he's doing that, can I try to take a peek at those papers?
Sure.
It's 9.
A 9? Okay. You look around, but you don't find any hidden compartment. It seems that all the dimensions line up. There wouldn't really be any space to hide anything away. Or if there was, it would have to be something very small.
Alright.
But-
While we're waiting for the guard captain, I'll just attempt to either reassemble the lockbox or put it in a state that would be easily transportable.
Sure. It's tricky, and you think that if you had enough time here, you probably could put it back together, but it would be very ugly. And if you wanted to put it back together in a more functional, less easily broken manner, you'll have to be at the shop.
Alright, I'm just gonna collect up the pieces then.
Yeah. The guard here kind of goes over the stuff, and Coalcoat, you step over to look at the papers, and are you going to grab them or just look at the top page?
At first, I'm just gonna look at them because I don't want the guard to shoo me away yet.
Right. The top page here seems to be it's like a bullet point list of different gangs, and you see notes written about them. It's like somebody has been taking a list of crime in the city.
I'll just look at the guard. Do you mind if I have a look at this?
He looks over and he says, that's... that might be sensitive information. We'll have to look at it first before we can share any of that with you, sorry. And he reaches over and takes the papers.
Are you sure about that? I mean, we are the ones that led you to Falone in the first place. We're on your side here.
Make a persuasion roll.
Really wish I had proficiency in persuasion. Oh, that's good. 19.
He hands the papers to you and says, okay, but if you weren't supposed to see that, I wasn't the one that let you look at them.
I just happened to take a look before you got your hands on them, that's all. Don't worry.
He puts them down on the paper and then looks away.
Yeah, I'll take a look. See what's going on with this paperwork.
Okay. Now, while you're going through that, the guard captain does eventually come back with the other. Are you guys up to anything in the alleyway over here?
I am bandaging Gaius to an extreme extent.
So he looks like a mummy.
Hey,
Not-
hey,
not
hey,
quite there.
I still need to be able to talk. I don't get hooked. I don't get hooked my food.
I just,
Stop bandaging me.
I look at Earlbald. Hold him down, please.
Sure.
I'm trying to take that on. What is going on?
You are very loud.
Don't worry, you can still breathe.
Use the dart of sleep on him.
You just need to lose less blood. Moving like that won't help.
Meanwhile, back over at the door, a couple of guards step through, and Coalcoat, I'd like you to make a... let's make another investigation check to see if you can mentally piece together what it is that you're looking at here.
20.
20. Okay. The papers here are a fairly detailed, though poorly written, like, somebody whose grasp of the common language and how to write is basic at best. It's a very detailed account of different gangs here, and you can see that on top of that are speculations as to how large their size is and how much coin they bring in. You see important names, things like that. And some of the pages are also notes, and you see what looks like evidence of somebody hiring a hitman. You see what looks like evidence of multiple like break-and-enters that have happened, that kind of thing.
Does it say anything about the Jackknife Gang on any of the papers?
Oh. Yes, I would say it definitely does. Let's roll to see how much info there is on them. Okay. There's a cursory amount for the Jackknife Gang here that's written down. The basic notes say that they're not a threat, and that until they decide to start working in the city, nobody needs to care about them. But there's an estimate on their numbers, and somebody has written down 10 and said that by the end of spring it'll probably be about 40.
40, interesting. And then, if they haven't quite come in yet, does it say anything about what gang Falone was from?
You don't find anything like that. There's no affiliations between Falone and anybody else. However, you do see that multiple notes have been written with Falone's signature on them.
Anything about us?
Interesting. I would say at that point, as you're getting through the papers, that's when the guards come in. Would you put them back down or keep going?
I'll put him down.
Sure. The guard captain steps up with the other guard, and he kind of comes over to the table. Fraildass seems a bit sheepish and kind of steps to the side, and they kind of start looking at all the stuff here that's been laid out. This big gold bar, an open bag with gemstones in them. He looks at him and he goes, "That's a big haul."
Yes, and well, by what seems to be on this top page here, it might be even bigger than you realized. I'll point to the papers.
He looks at the papers, then looks at you, and then, he kind of looks at the other guard, and the other guard looks like he's kind of examining the gems, and I'm gonna roll a bluff roll for him. And I'm gonna roll for the captain. Okay, he's in the clear. The captain looks over at the papers and he goes, "Interesting. Let's see what we've got here." And he kind of grabs them and starts to filter through.
I'm just gonna watch his reaction, see what he looks like when he's looking through them.
He looks interested, keenly so, and after only going through a page or two, he's kind of nodding to himself as he flicks past different bits of parchment. And eventually he kind of puts them back down and he looks to you guys and says, "Well, good work. I think me and my men would have been able to take care of this on our own, but I'm sure that you saved quite a few casualties. We had one bad injury, and he's already being taken off to the temple, so you've probably saved a good number of lives here."
Well, we're glad to hear it. We know that you guys are risking your lives every day. I mean, look at the filth you have to deal with.
Yes. The city has been a stain on the Aurelian spirit, I guess you could say. It's good to finally do something to clean it up.
You must
Are any of
start
the guards
somewhere.
injured?
What's up, Magnar?
Are any of the guards injured?
You can see that most of the guards have, minor injuries, like little nicks and cuts here. Nobody's, walking by on a single leg with a pogo stick kind of thing.
After noticing, I'll just take out some spare bandages and start, just applying a little bit, making sure nobody's bleeding out, nobody's gonna get an infection.
Sure. Sometimes they're like, "Oh, it's fine," and then once you just keep going, they just let you bandage them up. The captain looks at these papers and he says, "There's a lot of useful info here. I've got some things to check over back at the guardhouse. We'll probably be able to use this against them."
Well, and by all means, if there's anything in there that you feel a group of like-minded citizens that wish to assist you, if there's information we might need to know, please come find us at our shop.
He gives you a nod and he says, "That doesn't sound like a bad idea. It was a pleasure, gentlemen." And he reaches over the counter to shake your hands.
I'll shake his hand.
Gives you a
Clear my
handshake.
hands and shake.
He turns over to the other ones and, once giving a look at the guard, tells them to bag things up, and they do so, taking the bag of gems and the large gold bar.
Before he leaves, "Hey, guard captain, I don't suppose I could ask a small favor."
He looks over, goes, "What do you need?"
Well, we might be heading out of town fairly soon here. I don't suppose you could make word to the gates. Perhaps we get one pass through the gates for free for our assistance? Hmm?
He turns to one of the guards and kind of gives him a tap on the chest there. And the guard that he taps is the one carrying the bag of gems. He hands them over to the guard captain, and the guard captain sifts through them. And while he's moving his finger around in the gems there, he starts to talk to you, and he says, "Can't do that, citizen. Everybody has to pay the toll. It is just what it is." And he pulls out what looks like a small bluish gem, and then throws it at you with a smile, and then turns to leave.
Rules are rules.
Rules are rules.
I'll turn to Colcoat after the guards have left. I believe we can use that gem to pay part of the toll.
Jeez, I hadn't thought of it. Mackinac, thank you.
It's a calculating genius.
You're quite welcome, Colcode.
I don't know what we would do without you around, Mackinac.
Keeps me up at night.
A small shimmer around a little plaque that says Texas Instruments on him.
No, shall we round up the troops, rest up, and, well, perhaps we can get headed out on our journey.
Yes. Let us ensure our companions have not bled out in the streets.
Go outside, Gaius is just screaming.
A pile of bandages and things.
It's like a kidney, a heart still beating in the dirt.
Oh, good, it looks like Gaius is taken care of.
Yeah, if you would be so kind as to help me move him.
Assuming Gaius looks fairly injured and he's bandaged up, I will assume it is not safe to move for him to walk on his own, and I will carefully pick him up.
Okay.
Are you carrying the box material, though?
I assume Gaius in one arm, boxing the other.
Moving very slowly. You guys are taking the scenic route
We're not
back.
running. Yeah.
I'll try to take a few pieces of the box to carry for Mackinac if he'll let me.
Sure.
I assume that I've been tied to in such a way that I basically am immobile.
Not
Seems that way.
immobile, just very difficult.
It's in your best interest not to resist.
Your life
like
is difficult terrain.
Shit.
I just, as we carry him, I was like, I'll remove the bandages once we get back.
I wonder what my HP even is right now. I'm sitting at 10. I'm fine.
Oh, but you get your injury. What was it again? Oh, you have less
My
HP.
my max HP is now 17 instead of 19.
Hence the overly bandaged ribs.
There's
If
a lot
anything,
of
the
blood.
bandages hurt more now.
Well, are we ready to head back to the shop? What time of day is it?
It is. I think the raid was done late at night, so yeah, you
Yeah,
guys
so
are
probably
probably
pretty
ready to go to bed.
Oh, well, let's go get some sleep. I need a nap. You said it, guys.
Well said. 12 bitty rain.
Yeah, so I guess we'll just head back to the shop, hopefully uneventfully, and try to get a rest in.
Okay. You guys go back to the shop and settle in there, and everybody gets a long rest. Go ahead and refresh all of your stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start erasing and cleaning up the board a little bit.
Whenever we got back, I would have made the bandages dealable.
Okay. When you guys wake the next day, it is early in the morning, and Fraildas is asleep in the regular corner of the room she seems to have claimed, and her shop is the same as you guys left it. Nobody has robbed you in the night.
This is good to hear.
As soon as I wake up, start making food for everyone as per usual, and also in the midst of it, just like also pull out like a slab of, I don't know, I guess wood or stone, and just like make markings in it for like just basically making a calendar and just being like, yeah, should probably leave a calendar out so we can just have the guy who likes to sleep in just mark off what day it is so that we know when we wake up.
Would you do that on the first day? Like when you get back from the fight?
Yeah, if I got released from my bandages in time.
Sure, okay. So as you guys wake up, whoever it is who checks the calendar would notice that you've definitely time skipped, and Fraildas has recorded there that it is now the 34th.
It's not
Did-
that bad, right?
Did we sleep for 6 days?
Yeah, you're going to get used to it. Oh, that boy probably needs a proper meal. Alright, more lentils
Wait.
for you and turnips.
Wait.
I'm gonna have to go buy stuff.
Wait, you're used to this?
Yes. Look
Aren't
at the back
you?
of your neck.
Does this happen often?
Look at the back of your neck. You have a strange tattoo there, right?
I don't think she can see the back of her neck.
Okay, well, feel the back of your neck. Okay, better yet,
I-
look at the back of mine. You have the exact same one.
I don't trust him.
I will look at both of their necks, and assuming that she has it, I will nod in agreement.
Okay. Colcoat looks over, and, who knows if he's the moral compass of righteousness in this group. You've only come to them so recently. But he confirms that you have the same mark, and you would know that this mark on the back of Gaius' neck points him out to be a great soul, and you would be aware of what that means and, how rare it is. And, Colcoat turns over and nods and tells you that you have the same thing.
Huh.
Yeah, it's just casual.
I figured someone might have told me that before.
Yeah, it comes in handy once or twice.
You must
I'm
not have
sure-
many friends.
Right, nice tact.
I'm sorry, but usually somebody misses you and says, why were you gone for 3 days? Oh, I don't know. I guess I'm a great soul.
Maybe
Well-
it just happened because she was hanging around us. You never know.
I don't
Perhaps we
remember
turned
it.
you into a great soul.
Oh, that would be cool.
I don't
Get yourself
remember it
a
happening,
family.
but Valu is very secluded. So maybe?
Right, you have no fucking idea how much of a pain in the ass it was to get there. Christ. It was probably one of the more difficult terrains I've ever had to pursue. I don't even
quit
know
being
how
a-
I actually properly got there. Just suddenly we were there.
Being a wuss.
Excuse you, I wasn't born there. I'm used to whatever the hell this is now, as well as wandering through the woods around Oris Ran.
I'll probably try to wake Feraldus up at some point.
Sure. When you get over to the couch there, he seems to be slumbering away. And early in the morning, as you get to him, he kind of, blinks his eyes and goes, "Oh, Colcoat, how are you?"
Oh, hey, little buddy. We noticed that we time skipped again. What's been going on?
Oh yeah, you guys were gone for a few days. No work. Something came in for you, though.
Oh, no, what's that?
Here. He kind of hops out of bed and wanders across the room, and getting over towards the kitchen, he opens up a cupboard and pulls something out. And you see what looks like a bottle that has been wrapped in wax paper of some kind, as well as a note that's attached to it. And he hands it over to you. He goes, I didn't open it, but, it came in 2 days ago, I think.
Oh, looks fancy. Who brought it?
He shakes his head and he says, I don't know, I didn't see them put it down. I just came to the door at one point and there it was.
Oh, that's all right. Let's have a look, and
Okay.
I'll take the note and see what it says.
Sure. Before you get to that, I want to do Gaius's injury roll. How about you go ahead and roll that? See if you, Was this to clear up that injury?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nope. So, the note here is a very basic thing. It only has a couple of lines and a little signature at the bottom, and you see that it says, to all those at Catman Robotics who helped out a few days ago with the trouble with Falone, is behind bars. Be put up for execution soon. The information that you recovered was very useful, and this kind of action would normally earn you a medal in the Guard, but obviously as private contractors, I can't do anything like that. However, I've left here an enclosed bottle of brandy as my thanks, and if you ever need anything from me, you have a friend within the Force. And that's it.
He doesn't sign a name.
Yeah, the guard captain gives you his name. Give me 2 seconds.
First name guard, last name captain.
Right?
My name is Captain. Guard Captain.
His name is Ragref. I'm just gonna spell it here for you. That's what you see at the bottom.
Well, would you look at that? A bottle of brandy from our new friend with the guards, Ragrif.
Hi. Oh, that's a good find.
Yes, it says Fallon's being executed.
Christ. Had it coming.
It says it's probably soon, too. I wonder if it's happening today.
Well, regardless, we should probably actually head out on that expedition at some point. Don't we have a cart waiting for us filled with goods from the general store?
Well, if everybody else is ready to head out today, I don't see why not.
Just let me finish cooking up this meal for everyone.
Okay. So, if you go ahead and open up the bottle here, let's see.
It's a little early in the day.
No, would have opened it up.
Who lives here who's been living in Aurelium for a few years?
In Aurelium?
Yeah.
Been born and raised.
Okay. So anybody who has, I'd like you to make an intelligence roll.
Oh.
High rolls, I take it?
Yes,
Yeah.
high rolls.
18?
Oh, okay, that's
Oh, it was
good.
an
Okay,
18.
there's a decent one.
There was an 18.
Okay.
The robot had the 18. Do with that what you will.
So you can, you guys can read common, so you can see it says like Aurelian brandy, blah blah blah. There's like a little year beside it and everything. To you guys, it just seems like a nice bottle of alcohol. Mackinac, you actually remember having seen this up on the shelf in a nice shop in town, and as you think back to it, you're able to recall the price. I'd like you to make a luck roll, please.
Ooh. How expensive is the brandy? 16.
Okay. You know that this bottle of brandy, who knows what you would resell it for, but on the shelf, it was asking for 85 gold.
Damn.
Fuck.
Damn.
Yeah.
I believe this body of fermented alcohol is worth quite a lot.
Oh,
Right,
what's
I recall seeing it priced at approximately 85 gold pieces.
Oh, and just as I'm about to take a swig, I'm just...
Has it been opened already?
No.
Okay. Yeah, you're like, your hand is on the cork, and you're like, oh.
Nope.
Well, you must have a very good friend with the guards now.
That man deserves a medal.
That's quite a nice gesture.
It would appear the guard captain greatly appreciated our efforts.
Well, hopefully that bodes well for Catman Robotics in this town.
Indeed.
Well, if anyone else has business to attend to, perhaps we can do it this morning, but we may as well head out sooner rather than later.
I have
Frail
a
Dust
few
looks
things I would.
over. Are you guys leaving?
Well, guys, you disappoint the boy.
No, I get it. You guys said you were going on a trip, right? That's what you're heading off to do, right?
Yeah, that was more or less the plan.
Okay. No, it's alright. I just wanted to make sure.
You know that we'd love to have you, but as you've seen, we can't be disappearing for days. We don't want to leave you alone in the wild for God knows how long.
No, it's alright. I'll be okay. Someone's got to keep an eye on the shop anyway. You'll be back, right?
Well, of course, that's right. You're in charge.
And every morning I'll inspect the back of your neck to see if you become a great soul or not. I know. Casual.
Oh, yes, if we can make Leonard a great soul, we could make anyone a great soul.
Just do the old spinster rubbing palms together. Just we have plans for you.
Yeah, it gives
As
you
we're
guys a
preparing
nod.
to, as we're preparing to walk out, though, I do want to take Fairloss to the side and take out the chainmail armor I've been wearing.
Oh,
I want to get him to try it on and see if he can move around in it, etc., etc. Is he proficient?
oh, I see. I would say that Fraildas is not proficient with the heavy armor, but if you show it to him, he will kind of give it a look and go, well, I'd have to get used to this, but is this for me?
Oh, yes. Hopefully this would assist you in the unfortunate circumstances you find yourself in another altercation.
Now this is heavy armor, right? Like a full set of chain?
Yes, it was like a full set of chainmail.
Okay. So he kind of looks at it and he goes, okay, well, I don't know if I'm going to walk around town with this on, but it might come in handy. Thanks, Mackinac.
Oh, please, no problem. It is my primary goal to ensure your survival.
Right. Kind of gives you like an uneasy nod, like he's not really sure how to respond as he takes the
Just
chainmail.
nod back. Alright, so he has that then.
Okay, you can subtract that from your inventory.
Mhm.
Before we leave the lockbox, the strong box.
Ooh, yeah. How long will that take to fix Illusion?
I'd say
assume
probably
that's
like an hour with the equipment here.
Oh, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Well, assuming everybody still needs to eat, I'll start working on that.
Sure.
I'll just go ahead. Oh, sorry. I think I was coming into my house. What was in the strong box?
Oh. a lot of dosh, and it all went to the guards. Well, except for a gem which was thrown to you.
Okay, that's cool.
The lockbox doesn't take too long to really get fixed up, and you still have that box of old, what's it called, laying around. The, like the nails
Scrap.
and screws from
All
the
that
ship.
scrap, yeah.
So, like, you take a few of those and replace some things, and before long, you've got it fixed up by the time people are done eating in the morning. So you have a lockbox, table talk, so you can add it to your little sheets and stuff over there.
Mhm.
It is a DC 15 check to open up.
Okay.
So the lock on it seems to be fairly sophisticated. It's not the most powerful thing, like it's not the most complicated lock, but it would definitely give an average thief a run for his money.
I'll turn to the party as I finish. I have completed repairs of the lockbox. What do you all think we should do with it?
We'll probably keep it here and put some of our valuables in it.
Is this a better or worse lock than the one we have in the warehouse door?
I think your warehouse door is the same. So it would be like
Okay.
2 layers of the same type of protection. So you could definitely slow somebody down.
Okay, so I'll probably take that to the back room, attempt to conceal it and put all of our... Well, I guess we don't have a key, do we?
You don't.
Hold on.
Minor complication.
That's cool. Just put the camshaft in there. We don't need it anytime soon, and it's valuable, so throw that in there, and we're probably good. Figure out how to open it later when we need it.
You guys have like more money and goodies than you know what to do with, and like tomorrow's group is like literally named Welfare Wednesday. They're so poor. They have like 5 gold to their whole group or something.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's
What?
bad. You guys should tune in and watch the escapades of the poor.
Oh shit!
well,
You know
I
what
guess-
to put in there? I'm gonna put in my rifle materials in there.
Hmm.
That's I can't
I mean,
risk
worst
losing that.
case, we can just dismantle it every time we need to open it.
Yeah, exactly. We can get in there. Hey, I'm gonna put my the mine's blanking. The rifle materials, the 200 gold worth of shit.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And I can also bury it just for added security.
Yep, every level of security that we can possibly do before we get ready to head out.
Wait, you can bury it?
Yeah, because
Move
excavate a
earth.
part of my room with move earth.
Ah,
And
yeah,
like,
for
put
sure.
a bunch of the floor to my room is literally just like a layer of 5 feet deep dirt and then like wooden planks on top of that.
Gotcha. Okay,
That's
so
weird.
you guys lock this away. You don't have a key, but it's been placed literally under the ground, and after everything's been cleaned up, no thief would notice this. Without the, like magical means or something, there'd be no chance of them getting a hold of that box.
Nod at the group, satisfied with our work.
Fraildas will come over and give it a look and just kind of nod to the group. Like, well, I don't think anyone's getting in there.
No, they'd have to get to you first, Freldas, eh?
Yeah. I think I could beat anyone trying to fight with a shovel.
Oh, quite easily.
Handlead.
Probably.
Why would anyone be using a shovel as a means of weapon?
He points to the ground, he's like, because you guys covered it with dirt. So you'd have to have... He just kind of like turns and walks away.
That's fair. Shitpost enough that he's just like sick of it. He's just like, fine, whatever. Thanks, Dad.
Is there anything else we need to take care of before we leave the city?
I don't think so. I wouldn't mind thanking the guard captain for the brandy on their way out, but other than that,
Hey,
We're also
Henry,
going
you
to-
want to join us for romping around in the woods?
We should
talking to
also
me?
inquire into
Yeah.
as Falone's
Oh, I didn't hear my name. Sorry.
lost my train of thought. I went right out the window. We should also
Falone.
inquire as to Falone's final whereabouts. What has occurred with him? I most hope he has been
Yes,
sentenced.
well, he apparently is due to be executed sometime soon, actually. If it hasn't already happened.
Okay. So if you guys want to go out, let me know, and tell me what it is that you want to do.
I don't think anyone has anything they need to do. So if that's the case, head to wherever the guard captain would be at and just inquire about Falone and say thanks.
Sure.
Before we leave.
You guys make your travel out into the city. You gather up, say bye to Fraildas, and take your gear as you wander off. Are you guys bringing the cart that you had stowed away and everything?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you guys now have your cart with all of its contents. There's a whole bunch of gear there, including tents and food that'll hopefully get you through all the troubles of the jungle that you'll be going through. Now, as you wander through the city, it doesn't take you long to realize that in the main square, where the different airships seem to park while they're being repaired or when they're landing or taking off, there's also a bit of a display going on down there. Sometimes people have little market stalls, although that area is generally kept pretty clear, and most commerce happens off to the side. But today, you guys see what looks like a crowd gathered around somebody who looks familiar, and you see that on a raised stage that's like 3 or 4 feet off the ground with some simple steps next to it, there's a pillory that has Falone there, chained up, and different people are yelling at him and throwing objects at him as he's there, and he looks like he's basically just exhausted. He's probably been chained out there for days. If you guys want to go and interact with him, you can, or you can just kind of leave him to his fate as people throw like tomatoes at him and stuff.
Is it Falone?
Yeah. Filona's chained up there, and
Is there a tomato or something on the ground that I can grab?
sure,
Really
yeah. There's
rotten tomato. Just
there's like a
stinking.
small rock nearby.
Yeah, I'll pick up the first thing that I can see and whip it at him.
Sure. It's one out of 100 things that he's probably been hit with today, and he, barely flinches from it. It looks like he's just completely exhausted, unable to sleep, just being pelted with these objects.
Yeah, take that, you bastard! Teach you to
believe
mess
he
with
did
us.
take that.
Kind of feel bad for him in a way.
I really don't know. He's a bit of a cunt.
I need to buy myself some rubber darts.
He's still alive. From where we're standing, Lucian, is he still alive, or is he just like?
Yeah, he's still
Conscious?
alive. He's just,
Okay.
he's just like, he's sleep deprived and being, yelled at and having things thrown at him, right? So he's unable to really do much more than just kind of take the punishment.
If I scan the crowd real quick, it doesn't look like there's any of his little cronies in the crowd that we would have seen from the other day, does it?
Oh, definitely not. You see what
Okay.
looks like regular townspeople. Scanning around, you do notice a couple of familiar faces, but they're the guard, and they're just kind of standing around, making a perimeter around him. And every now and then somebody goes to, like, kind of, run closer towards him, and the guard, pushes them away and keeps them away from the stage.
I'll probably just ask the closest guard that we see if they know. Excuse me, would you happen to know where Ragref is?
Yeah, he gives you a moment of recognition, and he actually looks like one of the guards that you saw during the skirmish, not last night, but many days ago. And he sees you and goes, "Oh, yeah, he's back at the guardhouse. Probably gonna be here soon, though. This guy's gonna be hanging in a few hours."
Yeah, well, that serves him right.
Hey, good fighting back there, by the way. Haven't seen you guys in town, but I remember that day. That was a good show of skill.
Yeah, you too, you guards. You've got some moves, and I'll just kind of put my fists up and kind of playfully like throw a few jabs. Like, you did good out there.
He kind of scoffs and gives you a smile. Says, "Yeah, well, that's the guardsman's life."
And we appreciate it. We're glad that we could help. Well, we'll perhaps go track down Ragref. We might be headed out of town.
He gives you a nod. Stay safe out there, guys.
And you stay safe here.
So as you guys go wandering off, your group leaves this crowd and eventually gets towards the guardhouse. And it seems that Ragref is already on his way out. He's talking to some guards near the door, and upon seeing you, finishes his conversation and walks over. He goes, "Oh, Catman Robotics, did you got my note, I hope?"
Yeah, we did, and we wanted to come and thank you in person. We're very grateful.
It's the least I could do.
On your way to finish off our friend Falone, eh?
Yep, he's scheduled for a bit later, but I think I'm just gonna take care of it now. Don't want the crowds to get too big, people get rowdy.
I'll just kind of turn and look to the party. Do we want to make sure this goes all right, or do we want to leave things here?
I'd say that the guard are more than competent with keeping the execution.
I assure you he's not going anywhere. If you want to come and watch, though, that's your work over there.
That's all right. I don't think we need to watch the man die. Our work is done. Speaking of that, we've actually got our next journey ahead of us. We just wanted to say thank you before we left town for a bit.
I see. He kind of looks over your shoulder at the cart behind your group. He says, where are you guys going to?
No, we're just headed south. We've got a lead on perhaps some salvaging we can do, and, well, you never know. If we run into the Jackknife Gang on the way, that could be something we take care of as well.
If you run into them, be careful. Well, those papers that we got a hold of, we've been referencing some other stuff that we found in town, and there's a lot of them. You guys are very outnumbered if you're going to take them on.
Well, that's good to know. Do you know what kind of numbers they might be at?
Well, if things have been going how I think they are, probably more than 24.
Well, a prominent gang. I guess it makes sense they would build the ranks.
They seem to be the biggest ones around here, actually. Things have quieted down in town. Again, like I said, I would give your group medals, all of you. You'd be heroes in the streets, but I just simply can't do that given that you're not exactly in our ranks, you know? But there have been a significant drop in thievery, and violent crimes are down too, actually.
Well, I don't think we do it for the accolades. This is our home. This is where our business is. If we can help protect the city and make it a better place, by all means, we're going to.
Well, you did more than you know, I guess. I'll leave it at that.
Well, we just, again, wanted to thank you, and, you know, if you could keep an extra eye on Catman Robotics while we're gone. And, our friend Fraildis.
Yeah, where's that boy from, anyway?
Oh, he's just a street orphan that we took in.
You know what? I'll see what I can do. Maybe move around some patrols a bit.
Yeah, don't do anything completely out of your way, but it's good to know that we've got some friends in the city when we're out traveling.
He puts his hand on your shoulder, and he says, your shop will be fine. Good luck outside there.
And I hope things go smoothly in here.
He gives you a nod, and then he turns to walk away.
Well, comrades, I'd say it's just about time for us to head out.
Are you guys going out?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Just realized I was
Finally.
muted. Just yeah. I'm just like that's a good man.
Yes, it's good to see a person with some integrity in charge in the guards here. I know over the years we've seen our share of questionable one.
Yeah. But
Now, you guys start to wander through the city and go further and further up, traversing multiple steps and basic elevators getting towards the top end. And as you grow closer and closer towards this final building, this exit which will lead into the outside world, you guys hear something. You've been traveling for probably about 30 minutes to an hour when there's a sound of cheering from way down below that kind of echoes up. And you guys can all more or less guess what that was. Now, moments later...
Everyone bites the dust.
Yep. Moments later, you find yourselves in front of the guards there, and they step up towards you, and they tell you that the fine, or not the fine, but the toll to pass upstairs is 2 gold each. You have a group of 5 people, so that's a solid 10 gold. Who's paying?
I'll take that gem out that he had handed to me the other day, and I will hand that to the guard.
He kind of gives it a look, and he says, well, we only take, normally only take coin, but yeah, that seems about right.
Oh, we appreciate it.
He kind of steps to the side and motions to the door, and you can see that these large double gates open up, and there's a large staircase that seems to ascend, and next to that there's also like a ramp which you can kind of like stuff your cart onto. It's quite wide and looks like it would accommodate land vessels much larger than the one that you guys are bringing. Laboriously you start to go up through this, and it's kind of like you know, the tunnel of death, right, where it's like this long tunnel with a light at the very end, and you guys are going and going and going, and then when you pass by that barrier of light, you step into the outside world with all of the whitewash, sort of like marble Aurelian buildings all over the place, and the large walls all around. You're finally outside.
Just
Oh, the
breathe in
fresh air
deeply.
is great.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's real good.
The first thing you notice is just the air. Like, beyond the sights, just breathing in air that isn't kind of like stuffy and everything. You get so used to it that you forget what it's like when it's kind of crisp like this. For Lannery, it might be a bit different since you're just kind of getting here, but for the others, this is new. The next thing, you guys have been up in this top portion of the city before, but you've definitely lived down below for the majority of your life. And once you've gotten up here, you're not really entirely sure where to go. There are roads that kind of veer off into different directions. There's a few different gates. Are you guys doing anything in the city, or are you going to just leave immediately and kind of go out into the country and start your journey?
I sure hope we bought all the shit that we need. We're dragging around in that cart.
As we're walking through the city, though, I don't really know what that Falone did, but did he deserve to die like that?
I suppose we should have filled you in. He contracted us out as bounty hunters with fake papers. Apparently, he was using these fake contracts to get people to murder his competition.
What are your thoughts, Lenry?
I suppose the punishment fits the crime, but I can't see the right in it.
No, right or wrong, it's one of those things where you can't really do much against the laws of the local guards.
And think of it this way. If it weren't for him, I mean, we could have died. He had a lot of people killed as well.
Yes, after we worked for him, air quotations. He tried to break into the shop and he tried to kill our friend Freldis. Terrible man.
I just put my hand on my chin and just go quiet, thinking.
Okay.
I'll just kind of put a hand on Leonard's shoulder. Look, I know I may have, done a number on that one man's brain in front of you, but we're not violent people. If we don't need to kill someone, well, by all means, we can take that route.
I wouldn't have brought you towards people that are just all about strictly killing. They're also, like I said, people that have saved me, same as you.
The only reason Freldis is with us is because we didn't kill him. He surrendered, we were going to turn him into the guards, and... Oh, right. Landry, by the way, he used to be a thief, but, don't speak about it. We don't want him getting into trouble.
My lips are sealed.
But we've seen people can be redeemed. Freldis is a walking example of it.
Right, we might even be... I can't make the enemy. I was about to say we can be harbingers of redemption.
Womp womp womp.
I don't want that curse.
Yeah, be careful with that. Put that there. Perfect. Okay. So what are you guys up to now?
Man, I'm following them through the city wherever they go. I barely got myself to their shop.
Sure.
It's probably been a while since we've been out on an expedition, so just, I guess, trying to remember how the hell they get out of the place.
People who walk the streets here are unmistakably Aurelian, like yourselves, and the sort of differences between race and the way that they speak are very little and almost negligible compared to the people that you normally spend your time around. However, they're much better dressed, and you can see that the level of wealth between the top of the city and the bottom of the city is very, very different. You do eventually get towards the southwest gate, and you guys can leave through there if you wish. The guard kind of give you guys a nod, step to the side, and you're free to wander out and see that the road from Vossnux leads into a like a very dense forest. And you guys have, of course, done your research and looked at the maps. You know that you're going to be traveling for probably a day or two through the forest, then through some fields, and then into the dreaded jungles, depending on which direction you guys want to go. Speaking of which, what direction did you guys want to go? What was the route? Are we going like this, kind of? Like, were you going down and then going over, or...?
I kind of assumed we'd go down and then just see what happens as we get closer, and then figure out what the best path from there. But probably sticking to the road as long as we can, because down here is kind of closer anyways, right?
And for tabletop purposes, I'd say we should probably go to the road, because this is like an actual like mountain/hill over here, right?
Those are big rolling hills. Yeah, so like you can bring the cart through them, but it will be like... it will be a battle.
Well, no, I was gonna say we should bring the cart along the base of the hills, because I assume that would be easier than going straight through the forest or going straight through the hills.
Sure, yeah,
But
you
there's
could
sort of
ride the
like a
line if you
level-
wanted.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then from there we can head in this direction.
At
Those
the very
of you-
least, with this party, there's no a high chance of getting lost in the woods.
Those
If
of you
we
who...
got lost in the woods, we're fucked. Like, we're totally fucked. There's no way it should happen.
This area down here, those of you who live in Aurelia would know is like an active war zone. So like getting close to the forts, that is like a severe danger zone.
So we're just short of that. Wonderful.
Yeah, I'd probably
We're
say
going
we
to be
head
a short
south
bit.
almost all the way, even into Cruxiat, and then
All of the fun's down here.
and then just kind of veer off from there. Hey?
Okay. So you're going for Cruxiat and then hanging over. Or you're going to here and then riding the hills.
You know what? Can we get to there and kind of see what the terrain's like? Because if it's going to be a bitch with the cart to go through, then we might not.
Sure.
And just do if it's easier to do that, like Relic said, across the edge of it.
Okay. Now I ask you, who is feeling lucky?
Oh boy.
I offer myself as tribute.
Grab your dice, Koala. Here we go.
We accept the sacrifice.
Yeah, big roll. Oh,
Hey.
okay. Travel along the roads in the forest is, thankfully, uneventful. You guys know that the wilderness of these lands is so dangerous that rarely does a group of less than 12 people ever venture out without being, like very, very well armed or having some defenses. You're only half that size, with nothing but a cart and your wits about you, but you make it through the forest and find nothing. You get to here, spending 2 days of travel. And when you break out of the forest into these large hills, it's nothing but like patches of dirt and then tall grasses, and on either side of you, over towards the west and towards the east, there are these large hills. And you happen to know that one of those is supposedly where the Jackknife Gang is, and that's kind of where one of the roads veers off to. And then in the opposite direction is the Spear Hills. And your road here continues on in towards Cruxiat, and you guys can continue to follow that, or you can kind of go off into the wilderness. Now the space here is basically just tall grass that comes up to about like 2 feet or so, and eventually peters away towards the edge of the jungle. It's definitely something you could drag the cart through if you want. It'll move a little bit slower, but not much.
And just one more time, the entire time it's been Mackinac and I switching off, yeah?
Between pulling the cart?
Yeah.
I assume so, yeah.
Elk and Robo.
Are you guys up for a hike?
Always a good time.
I do feel like if we go off the path now, it will mean less time in the jungle, and probably for the best.
Yes, I agree.
Oh, jungle schmungle.
Listen to the surface dweller. Oh, I walk in jungles all the time. We're city folk. We're scared of the jungle.
Just kind
No,
of look over at him and
No offense, but one of you is a druid and the other is a cat.
I am a
Just kinda-
tabaxi. I'm not a cat.
Oh, you're a fucking cat. And
I am a tabaxi. All right. Are you a monkey? No. I am a tabaxi.
Kind of. I'm more of water, though.
No, you don't count. You're not.
Mackinac like the organics are arguing.
Typical organics.
They're silly
Speaking some
human
nonsense.
emotions.
Yep. So what's the
Well-
call? Do we leave it to a vote?
I'm up for either way.
Yeah, I'm good for either.
Based on all of our knowledge, the easiest way to get some shit back, if we found something, would probably be if we went this way, right?
That depends.
Just 'cause I mean, I guess we don't know what's down there, but
Yeah, my thinking is that getting the cart through the jungle is gonna be a bit of a shit show, and
Now-
this looks like it's the least distance to walk.
I would say, given your group's combined survival and stuff, you kind of have two main routes. One is to go along the road. You get a stop into Cruxiat, you get to about here on the map, and then you make this little journey over, right? And you travel 1 or 2 days in the jungle, right? The other one is you travel through the hills, like the sort of foothills, the outskirts of them, and then travel roughly about the same, slightly less, into the possible crash site. So one is roads, that'll take probably a bit less time, but a little bit more time in the jungle, and the other one's going to take more travel time, but less time in the jungle. But you'll be traveling through wilderness instead of on the road.
Also, the potential that we won't run into other hostile travelers if we leave the road now. 'Cause, like,
It's
who
true.
the hell's out here?
Yeah, most
I
people will be
agree.
on the road. You'll also won't go as close to the forts.
we don't really want people to know we're out here either, based
Yeah.
on our info. So
Hmm.
my vote is this way.
Okay.
Jungle bad. My vote is this way too.
That's 2 votes, 2 indifference.
I don't want to fight all the Yuan-Ti.
Okay.
Just a couple.
Yeah. I'm good for the Spear Hills.
All right. I'd like somebody else who's feeling lucky to make a roll.
I guess I'll do that. Alright.
Okay.
Yeah. Above average, slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Pass.
Now, travel through this area is definitely slower than going along the road. And you get to about here spending 3 days on the road.
Do
Now,
you make survival checks for foraging long?
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
does anybody have the Outlander thing?
I do.
I would say that you are able to feed everyone just by being in proximity to the jungle. So you're okay.
Okay.
So you guys are able to get enough food. I would say there's probably... No, because Mackinac is a robot. He doesn't have to eat. You're good. You guys get enough food.
Yeah, I've got stuff that helps too.
Now, as you guys get to this point in your journey, I would like all of you to make a perception check as you're wandering through the hills and traveling closer and closer to your destination. And you can go ahead and post them in chat. I think I still have the chat enabled in Tabletop.
There you go.
12. 17.
Is that perception?
Yep. 14. 5.
Earl's just paying. Oh, okay, 15. That's better. I was gonna say he's just sitting there like fiddling with his darts.
I saw a tree, guys.
Okay.
It was surrounded by a bunch of other trees.
It was crazy.
I think we might be in a jungle.
Now, while wandering around in this area, two of you notice something. Erlebald and also Lenry. You guys both pick out that there's something strange and kind of foreign nearby that you weren't exactly expecting. Now, you guys have seen a lot of different jungle trees and spreading fields and large mountains. You've seen birds and small game and things like that. You've even you've even eaten some along the way as your kind of evening meal. But it's the first time that you notice this. As you're traveling along, you bump into an incredibly large carcass nearby. The others in your party don't seem to see it, but Lenry and Erlebald, you guys both notice that off in the distance, kind of behind a rock at the bottom of the foothills, there's a very large corpse that lays there. It's most certainly not human. It looks like an animal of some kind, and it's sort of white bones and rotting flesh can be seen from far away with a keen eye.
Is there any way to tell from here if it was like reptilian or mammalian?
Oh. I would say from this distance, probably not. If you get closer and investigate, you could probably tell. It's quite large, though. If that was a reptile, it would be a very large one.
I will definitely keep my thing large enough to kill that,
Sure.
just in case.
How about you, Erlebald? You see this as well.
He's just gonna keep his eyes peeled. He's not gonna do anything further.
Okay. You guys say nothing as your cart continues to travel through the area. And as you're passing it, so once it's like just off to the side instead of being kind of further up ahead, you can see around the rock and notice that it's like a very large carcass, probably the size of a cow or something like that, like a bull, maybe a swine even. And it looks to have been thoroughly picked clean, with only like little bits of rotting flesh kind of strapped onto different parts there. It's been left here, sort of out in the field in the middle of nowhere.
So definitely, like, it's been here long enough for like vultures and stuff to get a hold of it.
Mm-hmm. Just keep going?
I don't suppose there are farms near here, are there?
Would I know that?
You would know that there definitely aren't.
No, not this far into the jungle. That'd be crazy. Who would want to do that?
Just checking.
That's a
Alright.
big cow.
What cow? What are you guys talking about?
I guess
You
we
do really
point
not
over
see
to it.
It's gigantic.
Off in the distance, to the side of a very large rock, you can see a huge corpse over there, Colcoat. Its bleached bones there in the sun, little bits of meat hanging off of certain parts.
Well, that's weird. Why would somebody eat a cow out here?
Well, I mean, when you're a big enough predator, cows are pretty decent.
But where did the cow come from? Cows don't live in the jungle.
Likely the sky.
That does not make any sense.
Guys, you know very well the cows do not fly.
I'm not saying the cow was flying.
Are you saying it's a magic cow?
I'm saying it was likely a dropped cow.
Do they put cows on airships? I'm not sure what their cargo usually is.
No, I'm saying something bigger than the cow dropped the cow to eat it.
Meow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're being real busy right now.
That's all good.
Well, let's just hope whatever it was isn't still around.
But hold on 1 second. I'm gonna quickly go over there if I can and just get a closer look at it.
Sure. Make a survival check, please.
think I have it.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's a natural 20.
Okay. As you get over towards this thing, you can tell that it's not actually a cow. It's like a... maybe something similar, but it's probably closer to like an ox or like a bison maybe. Something hardier and not the kind that you would see on a farm. It makes a lot more sense that something could manage to wander out here, being that it's not like your garden everyday variety farm animal. However, you notice something else. With your keen eye, you pick out from the ground nearby that there's clear tracks that come over here, and the tracks on the ground are incredibly numerous. There's multiple sets, and they all kind of move in a swarm. It's not like a single file coming over towards the corpse. It's more like just a big mishmash descending on it. And you pick out that these tracks are clearly made by something with a large number of stabby legs. It's distinctly insect-like.
Ah, so the scorpions killed this one. I'll head back to the group. Hey, do you remember those scorpions that we read about? That's what ate that thing.
Scorpion.
Giant scorpion. They're poisonous, beware.
That's fucking terrifying. Great. Yeah, the sap. Delicious.
Gonna turn to my party.
So are you saying it's a flying scorpion?
It could be. I'm not going to rule anything out.
This is the most troubling.
Oh yes, by the way, it's not a cow, it was like a bison or something like that. But
Those
so the book said
scorpions-
scorpions.
Do those scorpions live in the hills or in the jungle?
They live in the hills. There's
That
even
puts-
worse, more poisonous things in the jungle.
Thanks.
Yes, perhaps you should have filled the Lenry in a little more, eh, guys?
I mean, she had to walk through here and, like, you know, it's fine. We're used to walking around in dangerous places.
Yeah, this
It's
is what we
fine.
do. This is what we do. What?
And she's from a druid town. It's fine. It's fine.
Baloo is perfectly safe.
You'll probably see the giant scorpions and think they're like kind of cute. No, that's
I
fine.
think they'll probably try to kill us if we see them, but
Shut up.
let's be on our guard.
Right? Yeah, he's right. But still, they'll be adorable. Yay!
Guys, you see over Colcoat's shoulder what looks like a large insect that crawls onto one of the nearby mountains far off, hundreds of feet away. The thing is huge. It is probably about the size of... what would be a close analog? Maybe like a desk.
Hummer?
Like a... like like a notary's desk, not like a school desk, but like a big proper desk. And it wanders up onto a hill nearby and takes a moment to kind of almost like shake out its body. Like it kind of jitters for a second and then turns around and makes like a full 360 and walks in the opposite direction, disappearing from sight.
I'm just gonna like kind of gasp and go, right? Leaving now. Let's leave. Let's leave.
It walked away from us, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just gonna
yeah,
look
that's-
at everyone. Yeah, so you know the thing that we were just talking about? Yeah. There was one just over there, 100 feet off. Let's we should probably not stay too around the thing that it ate.
Right. Keep your eyes on the sky. Let's keep moving.
Okay.
Right, that was one theory. We have figured it out. It is giant walking scorpions. Thank you, Earl. Eyes on the ground.
I'd like
I
a
keep
luck roll,
dancing
please, as your group decides to leave before that thing comes to get you.
I got this. Bam.
If you roll low, the thing will come and get us.
Uh-oh, it's a 9.
Okay, we're gonna go to a brief 5-10 minute break.
Scorpion's back on the menu, boys.
We'll see you all in a minute here.
God damn it. We have to fight a flying scorpion now.
Now the question is, can we tame it and ride it?
Yeah.
That would be the
I mean,
preferred option.
That's just a DC 5 animal handling check, right?
Well, there's 5 of us, 1 of him. So one of us grabs the stinger, the other 2 grab his little claws, and then he's defenseless. Then the other person does like a ritual animal talk spell or something.
Ah, that animal talk spell.
Speak with animals. That was a hard one to remember.
I do have animal friendship. And speak with animals.
Oh,
Yeah, I just speak with animals being a shepherd.
I wonder how friendly giant scorpions are.
Not very.
Wonder how smart they are.
Conversationalists.
Yeah, they're not known for how happy they are. Yeah, I have speech with words. I can talk with beasts, they understand me, and I them. The limit of their intelligence, this does not automatically make me friends with all beasts. Additionally, I learned self.
I really, really, really hope we don't die in the jungle because we have a group that seems to be very well suited to live and survive in the jungle.
No, I
And
mean
that-
that's called the irony clause.
It's like, hey, that one area that they excel in.
So it'll go to shit when we head back to town and start going in like the Underdark.
No, we'll be fine as long as we're there. It's only like in the jungle that we're gonna have the trouble.
Okay, well let's survive and then we can start going to the Underdark underneath Bostonix. I wish there were markers on here to show where these other groups are right now. I can't remember where everybody is.
I know Monday's in Hillcrest.
Oh, Hillcrest, right.
Alright, so never head there.
Yeah, no, it was funny listening to them last night because they were like, when I was in there, it sounded like they were acting all like goody two shoes. It was like someone was like, "Oh, you guys are really great. You're welcome here anytime." I just kept thinking, aren't they the evil group?
I think was it Wednesday's pretty close to us, aren't they?
I don't know. I play other games on Wednesday and Thursday, so I'm not usually around to watch.
Oh, I miss it when it's on, but I'll get bored at work or something and then just play it in the background.
Yeah,
I wish I could do that at work.
Yeah, my work does not allow that.
I can do it now. In about 8 months, I won't because we got to move buildings and I lose all my privacy.
That's unfortunate.
If I still worked at like the gas station, I could.
Oh shit, man! I worked at a gas station once, like years ago when I was younger, and I would listen to like hockey games and stuff on the radio, on the like online on the computer in the mechanic shop that was like tied to the gas station. And there were times where I'd actually like shut the store down because I wanted to listen to like overtime or a shootout or something.
Ah, very responsible.
In the first illusion campaign I was in, that's when I worked at the gas station there. They didn't have locks on the doors, so
Oh,
because we were a 24-hour station, and I worked nights. But I
yeah,
would just sit
ours
and like
definitely
watch
closed.
Netflix for like 6 hours.
Oh yeah, I'd have like a computer sitting there up by the register. And
Yeah, I
it
got
was-
yelled at a couple times for like having my laptop there.
Well, see, we worked by ourselves, right? Like it was just one person at a time.
Oh no,
So
I
you-
did. Same. It is
Oh, people just couldn't
like
see
the
it.
owner would like pop into the cameras occasionally.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
complain to my
see-
manager.
Yeah, he'd pop in from time to time, and be like, "Oh fuck, I wasn't watching stuff online the whole time."
I wasn't
Actually,
playing
I shouldn't-
Civ 6.
I shouldn't say that 'cause back then there wasn't online access like that. This was like 2004. I had DVDs. That was it.
No, now I just like I run around like all fucking day like crazy.
I have a desk job. It's great.
I like what I do. I just
Yeah. But it pays the bills.
kinda. I miss what I did beforehand, but not very consistent work around here.
I think the dream is just to find stuff to be able to work at home. Find stuff that I
Yeah.
can do at home.
What Jimmy does sounds pretty cushy.
I don't even know what he does.
Basically, like every once in a while he'll have to leave, and like it's all like paid for. But most of the work that he gets to do is just work that he does at home.
What does he do?
Uh, I don't know how much he's allowed to say and how much he's like basically told me, but it's basically he seems to work contracts for the government.
Oh, so like he's on the computer doing shit there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's
see-
like government contractor. That'd be enough.
Well, I mean that's the dream, man. Like be able to like sit around in your underwear coding.
Yeah.
That or well, see, and the nice thing is if you could figure out stuff like that, then you could do shit like, well, you could fuck around with the stock market, or like I had a buddy that did currency trading for a little bit. I couldn't do it now with the 9 to 5, but if I was at home all the time, then you just do a whole bunch of that stuff.
Yeah, if you're. I mean, as long as you have to learn the market, but
Well, there's shit you can do where like you don't actually have money in it. You just it's like practice essentially. It's like real markets, but you're practicing with like fake money.
Yeah.
You
I've been wanting to do that for a while.
Yeah, so you figure out what you're doing. Well, fuck, I didn't even realize how easy it is. I mean, you need money to start it first. Like my boss was telling me, he's like, "Yeah, I do it all the time. Like, I'll buy this one, hold it for a day, sell it for like $200. Buy this one, sell it for $400." So I mean, you do that over and over and over, it piles up, and you're it's not even really a risk because you only have your money and stuff for like a couple of days.
But it's definitely nice when you can do all of it from the comfort of your own home.
One day, it's happening, man. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but it's gonna happen.
The only issue with that recently has been God King Trump.
Which?
God King
I mean-
Trump.
it's God Emperor.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
How dare you disrespect him? Don't you know he didn't fight in the wars for us? He had other shit to do,
No, it was that his
like a real American.
what was it? His bone spurs.
Yeah, he had bone spurs.
Had
Quote, end quote.
quotation. Yeah.
Okay, before we start up, I'll be right back. Bathroom.
One of the other like top people in his staff resigned today.
And then his lawyer got fucking
Raided.
no
Yeah.
knock. Yeah.
What time to be alive?
It's time to be alive.
I miss the days when people are like, "Oh, look, the president said America instead of America."
What a silly man. Oh well.
Yeah. Those innocent days.
Yeah.
I have returned.
He has
Welcome back.
returned. He has returned.
So I have. We'll start in like 2 minutes here.
Okay.
I'm just
Oh, the
finishing
car sold!
hot seat dinner.
Hey.
Hooray! Alright, Daxon, you want to go out for a night on the town?
Sure, I'm down.
Just
It's
kidding, just
we-
kidding. Well, we should
I was
go
just
out,
gonna say,
actually.
It does sound weird hearing those words come from you, but I'm always down.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a huge cheap asshole. So,
Really? I never would have guessed.
yeah.
I should be, but I have expensive hobbies.
Wednesday group is crying somewhere.
Please, sir, we may have some money.
Just don't get yourselves into debt, and life is good.
Yeah.
Pretty
Also,
much.
don't have kids. Don't have kids either.
Yeah. Fur babies.
That's just a fucking money hole.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, my cats are even expensive.
My cats are expensive too, man, but you know, at least you don't feel lonely when they're around. Dead silence. My life's not. There is another human being that lives in this house.
Well, you need to talk about stuff, man.
I didn't say
Koala?
shit.
Dude,
Shifty
I like
eyes.
my solitude, damn it.
Yeah, man. I'm in the same boat. Fuck, like, I think sometimes that having kids would be kind of neat, but goddamn, yeah, it's an absolute mudhole.
there's parts that are like, oh, that'd be awesome, but then it's like all the other horrible shit. Like, I can't make an 18, 20 lifetime commitment to some kid that could turn out and suck.
He's
My
not
kid
wrong.
sucks, I swear to God.
Yeah, like, unless I had a mulligan, I'm not having some, like, stupid, ugly kid.
Too true, right? Yeah, it's not like you can do, like, a 16th trimester abortion or something.
Or yeah, it comes out and it's just like, oh, no, we gotta try again.
No, the hair's
What's the
all
warranty on
wrong.
this again?
That's why adoption is just superior.
Turns to the nurse. Can I re-roll his stats?
Or the kid's like stupid or something, just take it back to the hospital. I need to return this.
Or even if he's like, I don't know, if he ends up being successful, but he turns out to just be an asshole or like a psychopath or something. Like you do it,
Could
you
you
can't
imagine if you
erase
had
him
a-
right, but he just turns into like the biggest douchebag ever.
Well, yeah, what if you had a successful kid who made a ton of money and was like, fuck you, mom and dad, I'm not giving you a cent.
My girl would probably look at me
Created
and be
you.
like, those are all your genes right there, and I'd be like, yeah, you're probably right. Fuck.
If I had adoption, you probably wouldn't have me here, so. I don't know if that's a case for or against it.
It's proof that you can mulligan.
Basically.
The mulligans work.
See, I guess that's a good case for adoption, right? So you can go and look at a couple of kids, be like, yeah, this one, doesn't need new tires anytime soon or anything. Sorry, Twitch.
Are you really though?
No, I'm not. Are we ready to go?
I'm good.
Who's not here? Vodka.
Hell yeah!
All right, we're all here. There we go.
Let's die to scorpions.
Yeah! Welcome back, guys. Break's over. You guys are wandering through the wilderness, having recently seen a carcass nearby, and then a very large bug. You've decided to skedaddle. I need somebody to make a luck roll. Oh, no, wait, you got a 9, right?
Yes.
Oh, but
No, we need to roll.
I heard luck roll.
I would let you guys re-roll it if you want, but you'll have to take the new number. I mean, do you want perfectly average, or do you want this new roll? Right?
it's
Right?
always a chance at getting a 20 though.
I'll-
That's the thing.
I'll
I don't
offer it
wanna-
to you.
I mean, We're not cowards.
Hand reaches for the dice. You can roll it, Soup.
Hell yeah.
No.
It's been made. Here we go.
Watch this. Natural 20. Oh,
Well, that's
I
anticlimactic.
saw the 0 and
I improved it.
You saw a 0.
I mean, it's better than a
I was like,
9.
oh shit, this is better.
Okay.
That is.
It doesn't change much.
So no, the scorpion isn't flying.
There's actually a species of scorpion that flies, and it's fucking horrifying.
Yeah, God has abandoned us.
That does sound like a bad time. Okay. So 2 more days of travel go by. As you travel through the hills, you luckily see no more of those large bugs. It seems that the larger hills behind you were their home, and though you see evidence of them having been around, you don't actually bump into them on your travels. The next 2 days are perfectly safe. You spend, of course, a good amount of time setting up your camp and doing watch just in case, but they don't attack you in the night. When you do finally finish these 2 days of travel, you're at the section of the jungle where a very, very small trek, which could potentially be accomplished in a day, will take you through the place and over towards the supposed crash site. Now, what time do you guys want to leave? Because if you leave now, with the cart, you will probably get to the crash site when it is dark.
I don't think we want to be there when it's dark.
No, definitely not.
So what you could do, I guess what I'm saying is the DM is, if you want, you could like wait till the afternoon, so you travel halfway, sleep in there, and then wake up, and then you're there in the afternoon, or you know what I mean? Like you can kind of move the time around a bit. What are you guys feeling?
What time is it right now?
Right now it's just early morning. So if you leave right now, it's probably 7 or 8. The sun's kind of passed over the horizon and everything, and you would likely get there late. Very late.
Okay. And how feasible does it look, at least where we're standing, to get the cart further into the jungle?
Ah. The cart you have is like a glorified wheelbarrow, isn't it?
No, we
It's like a
splurged
flat
on
bag
it.
or something?
We splurged on it, didn't we?
Yeah. We got like, it was 25 or like 20 gold, I think?
Standard cart.
I guess what I'm asking is like the size. I know that you guys spent some money to get one that's sturdy, like not a rickety piece of crap, but how big is it exactly?
It's big enough where like the outside of it fits around an elk that like pulls it along. Like
Okay. So your cart isn't too huge. You could probably get it through here with a couple of times where you'd have to kind of, like, you know, drag it over some vines and things like that. It's going to be slow going, but you do think that you can get a cart this narrow into here. Now, if you were maybe like a big caravan that has like very large carriages and stuff, there'd be no hope. But with the small the small cart that you guys have, it definitely seems possible.
okay.
Which is good, because, you know, if you get to the crash site and there's anything valuable that's bigger than, you know, your backpacks, you have something that you can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So what time of day do you want to aim for getting there? Now, if you go now, at least you'll get there at night, and then you'll have the crash site to be in during the evening. Or you could spend a night in the jungle, and then search during the day, or something. Now, it's up to you.
Well, that's what I was thinking. We can still search during the day, but it might be safer to be sleeping
Yeah.
at a crash site.
And
as
the other
opposed-
thing, too, is that Fovecci told you that this is a area that has been scried by a wizard that he knows, so it's an approximation. It's not like a, yeah, I for sure know it's here. This is where he thinks it is.
Well, even if it's like there, we don't know what might have started inhabiting crash site.
That's another good point.
Maybe giant scorpions.
With wings.
Please no.
Can I get a distant hell yeah?
Hell
Hell yeah!
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah! I'm all for this.
Took off my headset for that.
Yeah. Go to where we reach the campsite around afternoon, just so that, or like midday.
Sure.
Or yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess the whole time we're probably looking for signs of a crash anywhere.
Okay, so the plan is go now, and then sleep during the afternoon in a spot that you can see, and then continue travel getting there to the crash site on the next afternoon. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Taking the cart, it's probably going to take longer anyways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, if we do have to do that, and then just take as far as we can get the cart into there, and then make the rest of the trek the next morning.
Okay. I need perception checks from all of you as you wander into the jungle.
I'm going to perceive the
Yay.
shit out of this.
Post them into the chat, please.
So close.
Not great.
This is the time we need the better roll.
One
I got
person
18.
writes 9, another guy writes World War II.
World War 8. Man, what happened to the rest of them?
Jesus Christ. Somebody help Koala.
Guys, you're trying to say too much.
Okay.
I got an 18.
You're all wandering through the jungle. It's slow and difficult, with momentary lapses of kind of going through very marshy portions where the cartwheels threaten to be sunk into mud, and then into other portions where you're pulling it over large, rooted, like gnarly pieces of tree that go in and out of the ground, sort of like mangroves. And the trek is not pleasant. The whole time you guys are being bitten at by like mosquitoes and things like that. For you, Mackinac, it's not really a big deal, but the moisture that's in the air does kind of cause your servos to creak a little bit, and all of you are feeling the effects of being in the jungle, just how kind of like uncomfortable it is to not have a proper city here.
So I'm at home then.
So you're probably feeling fine. You were, raised in a swamp, so this is just like la-di-da. But for those of you who are used to living underground in a city, yeah, it comes with its own complications. Now, while wandering along here, guys, you notice something. Hanging off of Erlebald's shoulder, there is a small greenish snake that you momentarily notice, which seems to have gotten onto him at some point, and is currently, snaking along his shoulder. He doesn't seem to notice, and everybody continues trekking, pulling the cart here. Mackinar's currently got duty on it, and you see this thing on Erlebald. What do you want to do? Nobody
try
else seems to
speaking to
notice.
Does it look poisonous?
Can I speak to it?
Aha. How would you speak to it?
Being a druid, circle of the shepherd, I have speech of the woods. I can talk with beasts, they can understand me, and I them to the limit of their intelligence. This doesn't make me automatically friends with all beasts. Additionally, I learn Sylvan.
Okay. I would say speaking to a snake involves kind of whispers and a lot of S noises. Could go ahead and do that, but your party might notice that you're making weird sounds. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'll make a mention first. I'm gonna do a thing real quick, and then...
Yes, what is it?
Earlball turns over. He doesn't seem to notice the snake at all.
Just gonna start speaking to the snake. Hey, hi, you're, saying all my friend there.
The snake momentarily turns towards you and seems bewildered. It doesn't say anything at first, but it's definitely understood you.
Hey, are you hungry, buddy?
Snake replies with a yes, and it seems to pause crawling over Erlebald and stays in position.
If I give you, let's see, I might have some dried meats. If I give you some dried meats, I'll put it off to the side of our cart here to get off my friend. I don't know how UC is having snakes on him.
The thing continues to stare at you.
If I put some meat down, will you get off?
It replies to you with a maybe.
I'll take
Is
out.
Erlebald just completely oblivious as to the... Well, how is he speaking to it?
Guys
is
is
he
just
speaking...
making, weird whispered snake noises behind you.
Think parcel tongue, dude.
Oh, behind me. Alright.
Or I'll just I'll take out a rather big piece of dried meat and put it down onto the like floor of the cart, and then we'll like get out a tiny bit of water and like kind of put a little bit on it just to rehydrate it a little bit, if I could, with shape water cantrip as well.
The snake momentarily leaves your friend. It disappears into the confines of his clothes, and for a moment you worry that it's gone somewhere else, until eventually it escapes from his pant leg here and runs off partway down the cart, slithering over to the food. It takes some, and devours all of it in a single bite, which looks awkward as its mouth distends to like a uncomfortable size, and after that kind of like slithers further and then disappears through a hole at the back of the cart.
Just as it's leaving, just, all right, have a good time. It was kind of adorable. Just back into regular talk. Oh, it was kind of cute. Hey Earl, you apparently
Yeah.
you're good friends with snakes now, so just a heads up.
I don't have any snake friends. What are you talking about?
You did have one.
Gaius, don't toy with him.
What? Did you not see it? There was literally just a snake.
Oh, I
that
saw
was
it.
sitting- Huh.
What?
You had a snake
Oh.
on your shoulder.
Oh. Well then.
It
Was it a
snake.
flying snake?
No. I don't know how you didn't notice. He slithered up and down you.
Did
I
it?
feel like you're lying to me.
Did it look like a poisonous species?
Oh, did it?
Venomous, I mean. Venomous.
Do you have nature?
Yes?
Make a roll.
I have animal handling and survival.
I'm a nature cleric. I sure hope I have nature.
Oh no!
Fuck, that's a 6.
Not today, you
What's rude
don't.
with it?
Having seen the snake, you're not sure. And same to you, you're not sure either, guys.
And then I drop it and it rolls a 20. Fuck. Like, it didn't... I don't think it was poison.
He seemed pretty alright. Nothing too toxic about him.
Venomous, goddammit.
I don't know. I think everything in here might be poisonous. The book
Probably.
did warn us.
Probably. But at the same time, that's all fun.
I've
Alright,
tried not
let's-
to touch anything.
No. You gotta make friends with the critters. Fun in this forest. Great.
I don't like the critter.
Well, they do live here, and like it or not, we're kind of intruding.
Yeah, what he said. What she said.
Ah, yes, fair enough. I'll watch my step.
Okay.
How to speak with animals last?
The rest of the travel goes uninterrupted. You eventually find yourself in a nice portion of the jungle where there's a little bit of an opening towards the sky and some free ground that isn't too damp that you can kind of set up your tents in. You guys go to set up camp, desiring to set out the next day so that you can be at the proper place when there's plenty of light out. As you guys go to lay down to get some sleep, okay, there we go. What's the watch order?
Good question.
I'll go first, I guess.
Earl will go second.
I'd probably be last.
I can go third then.
Okay. Colcoat, make a perception check for me, please.
$16.
Okay. It's not particularly easy to sleep throughout the day. You get here during the afternoon and then go to conk out so that you can, kind of wake up late in the evening, do a little bit of wandering through the jungle at night, and then as day kind of comes around, hopefully come upon the crash site at a decent time. But while you're waiting there, as the evening is dropping, having taken the third watch here, and nighttime is properly coming on, you get to watch firsthand as the jungle changes and starts to kind of take on a different tone. It goes from being this more or less like quiet place where the sounds of insects and birds can be heard to being something totally different. In the evening, You hear what must be nocturnal predators all throughout the different parts of the jungle, kind of running around and occasionally screaming and shouting in horrible noises at each other as like untold horrors go down throughout the place. As you're waiting here, the tents nearby have blankets on them to kind of help people sleep and provide darkness during those daylight hours, but now it's properly night that's starting to fall, and you have a little campfire to sort of keep you company. You're seated there looking around when you hear something, and it's not a distant cry of some beast from far away, but something close. It must be like 20 or 30 feet away. It sounds like a small footstep almost. Something is watching you from the darkness, and as you look around to go and see it, you can't quite pinpoint where it is, but you definitely get a location.
Is there tents close to me at this point? I guess we'll have to wait till they're on.
So I would say your guys' setup is probably something like this.
Tight, concealed as much as possible.
Little campfire here, maybe like a log to sit on. So you're kind of over here by the fire. You know, your companions, you guys can put yourselves in whatever tents you want. And give me a different color. There we go. You can't see it anymore. But from what you remember, the confines of the jungle are kind of like that. That's how much room you've got to work with. As you hear this, it sounds like it must be from over here, and you can't see the thing, but you know that's the direction it came from.
And if I just kind of wait for a minute, does it seem like it's moving around at all, or do I just kind of get the feeling that it's just kind of sitting there staring?
Make another perception check.
And I guess at this point, does it seem like there's others out there, or just the one of them? That's not very good. 12.
12. You stare in the direction of this thing. Wait and wait. And then you hear it again. It moves, though not far, just enough to ruffle the bushes as it goes probably from here a little bit over into this direction, and then stops. Whatever it is, it's definitely cognizant of what's going on in the this little camp area here with you at the fire, but it doesn't seem to do anything. It sounds small. It's kind of like listening to like a rabbit jumping around in a bush, or like a raccoon moving around in the trees sort of thing.
Okay, I'm gonna slide a little bit over here, and I guess loud enough that hopefully Mackinac can hear me. Mackinac, are you up?
Macknar,
Can I hear him?
you are currently asleep. I'd like you to make a constitution check, please.
He doesn't sleep, does he?
Ooh,
He kind of
I
does.
hibernate. It's a 12?
He goes into sleep.
You're
Can't sleep, but
You're in like a sort of inactive state, seated here in the tent, and your sensors pick up that somebody kind of calls your name from outside. Your sleep routines aren't finished, but somebody needs you. It's Colcoat.
well, I will get up, check my immediate surroundings. I assume Earlybald is asleep,
Oh,
and I'll, open the tent flap and walk out.
As soon as he comes out, I'll just like shh, be very, very quiet.
Whoa, haunting rabbits.
What assistance do you require from?
There's something out there in the jungle. It's out over there, and I'll point in that direction.
Do you wish me to take a look?
I don't know yet. I don't know what it is. I just figured it'd probably be best that somebody else is awake.
And most likely find out what it is.
I'll come with you. Just careful. So I was gonna wait for Mackinac lead. If he's gonna move up, I'll slowly move.
So I'll
behind him.
walk in the indicated direction, looking for something.
Okay. As you guys approach, it's when you pass the threshold of the campfire, getting to right about here, that you hear a flurry of activity and even see what looks like the trees and bushes move. It's not a single set of footsteps, but probably half a dozen that go running off in the opposite direction, fleeing into the jungle.
What do you make of that, Mackinac? Did we scare them off?
It would appear we disturbed them in some fashion.
Perhaps we can have a closer look and see if they've left any tracks.
Take a closer look.
Now, Mackinac, you don't have dark vision. Are you going to pull out like a lantern or something? Because the fire from the camp definitely doesn't reach far enough here to really help out that much.
Can I open my casing or reveal my Titan furnace to provide some light?
Oh, sure. And you have dark vision, right, Coalcoat?
I thought nobody had dark vision.
Oh, right, sorry. I forgot.
I mean, yeah, I've got dark vision. I can see everything.
I'm so used to everybody having fucking dark vision. that I don't even
I know, right?
They
remember
got
the
us some
changes I made.
specifically didn't take Coalcoat's dark vision.
So, you wander over there, opening your furnace for a moment, casting a bit of light on the area, and start to comb around. I'd like the two of you to make survival checks, perception, or investigation. It's your choice. And I'll tell you what you find dependent on it.
That's a 16.
What check are you making?
Or I'm gonna have the same bonus to survival and perception. Let's say survival.
Sure. You find tracks here. There's unmistakably little footsteps that go off into the distance, and it's tough to really make out what they are, but it kind of looks like webbed feet.
Webbed feet. Interesting.
They're tiny. You could easily fit like 2 or 3 of these in the imprint of a regular person's boot.
Phew.
Huh. Based on just like general knowledge of, living not too far away from here, do we have any idea what that could mean?
You have nature.
Proficiency nature? No.
You have no
what?
idea.
I do.
Sure, you can roll. Mackinac points these out,
Nature.
and you give them a look.
Oh, damn. Oh, that's good. So, take it. 22.
It's not something that is very well known, but people say that these jungles are inhabited not only by the Wanti, but other races, other strange creatures that live here. There are many which are simply mindless beasts looking for a meal, or other types of critters, but there are some that have a sentience to them, and there are rumors that frog people live in these jungles in certain areas. You're pretty sure that that's what this is. And looking at the tracks, those definitely look like little frog pitter-patters all over the place.
Well, Mackinac, I've never seen them myself in person, but from what I've heard, it seems like it might be some type of frog person. See the webbed feet there?
Interesting. I have not met a frog person before.
Neither have I, but I
Oh,
don't
sorry.
think that they're hostile.
Well, should we perhaps worry Gaius? Ask him his opinion.
I think so. Perhaps we should just wake everyone. I'm curious as to who they are. They might know something about the area and if there was a crash.
I agree. I will wake Gaius and then.
I'll go get Earl.
Okay. gradually you guys go over, waking the others. Do you want to just meet at the campfire?
Yeah, just wake everybody up, and I guess I'll sit down on the logs here.
A group meeting is called, and people eventually get up and gather around the campfire that's still burning. It's the middle of the night, and it's completely dark around here, and the light of the campfire plays over the different tents and trees nearby.
So, what's going on?
Well, it seems that there's something in the forest or the jungle. We may have been watched by some. Well, as far as we can tell, they seem to be frog people.
Oh,
I wouldn't know anything about frog people, would I?
Have ye proficiency in nature?
I do.
nope, I don't. The druid that doesn't have nature proficiency. I just like nature things, man.
Wow, fuck off. That is a 9.
Okay. You have heard tales of such things, that there are frog morphs of some kind out there in the world, but you had no idea that there would be any here. You don't really have any info either. You don't know if they're good or bad, just, the occasional wives' tale about there being such things that exist.
Well, there are many nocturnal creatures. I'm sure that they're one of them. It's not uncommon to visitors at night.
Would you say it's not unusual?
You're not alone.
Well, it didn't really seem that it was a random occurrence. It almost seemed like they were watching us. There was more than one. They're very little. They have these tiny little footprints. I wouldn't be too worried about them, but I am very interested to what they're doing out here, and perhaps if they know any information about the area.
Well, it might be their ancestral ground. You never know.
Should we just leave it? I kind of want to try to find them.
I'm not entirely sure if they'd be hostile or not, and I don't know if I'm ready to make that chance and bargain. But at the same time, let me look through. Let me think about this for a second. We could, well, it's not even guaranteed that they might speak common, so I don't know how you'd communicate with them. Because I have a way of speaking to animals, but us animals, geese, sort of, how should I say this? Not very intelligent beings. That's my gambit. But I have a funny feeling if these are sentient enough to be watching us and to be scouting us, they probably won't be affected by my spell.
Unless there's some kind of fae or no comment, I can't help
There's-
much.
There's a small chance, but even then, it's still a chance. We could try it if you want. Though, I don't know how good of an idea it is to do it at night.
I suppose that is true. We don't have that much before we finish our rest and start to move on anyways. The sun should be up, but not too long.
Off in the distance, you hear the sound of some sort of thing cawing. It's unmistakably avian, a bird that screeches out much like a rooster crowing before a loud crunch and a growl sound ends it.
We should probably not mess with someone's meal. We could try more so in the morning. Could you point out where the tracks are? Just so that we can have sort of a general idea if we want to scout it out a little bit in the morning. Because that is true. Might be a good idea to grab their other information they might have if they know anything about the crash.
I'll point to the area that I saw them.
Sure. the tracks move along somewhat like this. You don't go too far into the jungle, but you do see them kind of go like that. And the direction you're traveling in is like this. So they're actually almost in the same direction, just a bit off to the side. It could prove to be a minor detour, depending on how far they are from you, if they are people that you want to go and talk to.
Right, well, this is good to keep in mind. But for right now, maybe just finish off the rest of our sleep and check it out when everyone's completely awake.
If they're
Yeah.
curious, I'm sure we'll see them again.
To be perfectly honest, the direction, well, they could very well have been following us in the forest or the jungle.
Potentially, and that's something that we could investigate a little bit more in the morning. We'll see if there are any tracks behind us as well.
Yeah, the morning's probably the best idea. Let me tell you from this watch, there's some terrible, terrible things out here tonight.
I know, aren't they wonderful? Oh, I love it.
No, they do not sound wonderful.
Oh, well. Difference
does
of
feel-
opinions.
It does feel good to be out in the woods again.
It does. Oh my god. The air.
Oh.
Oh, the air.
I miss the low hum of the machinery.
Oh,
It helps me
there's
sleep.
some- Oh, it's true. That is quite nice. I have actually started to enjoy that. However, there is nothing like being out here amongst the animals. The wild is a wonderful place.
Shall we try to finish up our rest then and take a look at first light?
Oh, I think that's a good idea. Lenry?
I could go back to bed.
Okay?
Alright.
Does the group go back to bed?
So?
Yeah, I guess I'll finish my watch and then get Mac and R up to do the last bit.
The rest of the evening watches go by without any problems, and you wake up the next day to the sound of the jungle having been tamed by the sunlight falling upon it. The sound of beasts killing one another off in the distance fades away into just the little bits of insects kind of, making their noises nearby and whatnot every now and then. You guys get up, your camp seems fine, and nobody has been carried off in the night.
Hmm.
Just want to do.
It wasn't a fear until you just said it like, no one's been carried off in the night. Oh, casual. Yeah.
Oh, just saying.
Look at first breakfast, of course,
Sure.
but
While he's
Set-
cooking, I might just wander around down here in
Sure.
the light and see where it's going.
Make a perception check.
Oh,
Oh!
Ooh.
You go wandering off into this direction, and as you do so, you find something. On the ground, there is a small piece of wire. It's a bit of twine that's made out of some sort of jungle plant matter, and it connects to a nearby tree and sets up what looks to be a very, very simple trap that would have a small spike or dart pushed into your leg, likely your ankle if you stepped onto the line itself. Somebody has put a trap here.
can I activate the trap without like shooting myself in the ankle with the
Sure.
dart?
Now that you know where it is, you kind of step back, take a stick, and activate the thing. It's very simple, but effective. The moment that the line is triggered, a small little dart flies out easily with enough force to pierce through most clothing. Maybe not a plate of armor, but anything else would likely be hit. And it sticks into like the nearby ground there.
I have a few rations on me. I'm just gonna take 2 rations out of my bag and just leave them on the ground by the trap. And I might just head back at that point.
Sure.
Gaius, you got breakfast ready for me yet? I'm starving. This
Right, give
adventuring
me a
really
second.
fills an appetite.
just give me 10 minutes. It's cool enough. I'm just gonna do a little thing just to make sure that's nothing poisonous around us or in the food. And I'll just ritual cast detect poison and disease.
Oh, okay.
Just to make sure that A, the food is good, but B, anything around us that's poisonous or diseased.
What's
Get a
your
little-
radius on that spell? Is it 30, 60, 120?
I think it might be 30. Let me double check. Where is it? That's Peace Bond. Yeah, concentration up to 10 minutes, 30 feet within you. Within 30 feet of you.
30.
Presence and location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases. Identify the kind of poison, poisonous creature, or disease.
Okay, there's probably about 3 dozen poisonous creatures around you right now. Some of them are close by, like about 5 or 10 feet away in different parts of the grass. Most of them are in the trees in the surrounding area. You can sense some disease here and there as well, but your food seems to be fine.
I can purify it if you're not sure.
No. It seems good. Yeah. It should be fine. If it's not, then, well, I'll make sure to keep purifying it.
Having this spell on, concentrating it, keeping it up, brings, like, just a mass of these poisonous creatures to your senses. Like, you can feel them all moving around you, like, at all times. Just like, knowing that they're there is almost worse.
It's fine. Fine for someone who's used to. Just, hey, remember what I said yesterday, Earl, about making sure that you're aware if there are, snakes on you? That includes spiders, other crawly bits. There's a lot of poison around us right now. We're in a jungle.
While we're eating breakfast, can I go ahead and druidcraft to get an idea for the weather?
Ah. The weather today is going to be good. A hot and sunny day. Not the kind you'd want to spend too much time outside or be on the shade, but it'll be good for visibility.
Clear skies,
Ahoy.
clear mind.
Clear skies also means the easy salvaging.
Kind of like cracking a smile. We'll definitely be able to see any flying scorpions coming our way.
Right, fuck off. I'm just like laughing. Alright, everyone. You good with food? I have a canteen to clean whatever you need.
Soup, your mic's activating, but you're not saying anything. You okay?
Yeah, I flick it on and off with my finger, so.
Gotcha. Alright, are you guys traveling off?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you going for the tracks or on your current route?
I'd say take a peek at the tracks and
Well, they did set the trap, right?
Yeah, I would let him know, like, there was a bit of a crude trap back there, but I can't tell if it was a malicious thing or just perhaps they did not know what we were and were trying to cover themselves.
could I like inside check? I guess it's weird. Like inside check the trap?
That's up to your own character and what you think guys would think of that.
Probably like, oh, right, well, if they set a trap so close proximity, probably just want to be left alone. Let's not invade their territory any more than we have to.
No, there was a dart. Perhaps you could take a look. I'm not sure if you could tell if it's got poison on it or not.
Oh yeah, what is the poison on the dart illusion?
Do you guys
Or
want
is
to go
it-
look at it?
We should ask the dart expert.
Well, I just because of the spell, I would get to know what kind of poison it is.
What
Yeah,
kind
I'll
of
bring
poison?
Earl and Gaius over there to look at the dart trap.
Sure. As you approach, focusing your mind on it, even before seeing the thing, you can feel that there's all sorts of different creatures around here that have all sorts of different poisons. And when you come upon the dart and focus in on that, you can tell that this is no paralysis poison. This is a poison intended to kill. Now, the constitution of the being struck would of course have a part to play in that, but it just deals like tabletop, it's raw damage. This kills. This is a killing poison.
Okay. Right, this was meant for Malady and Herm.
Oh,
They
that is quite the
want-
dart.
Yeah, they want to be left alone. So,
Could you take this dart and use it, Dero?
I can use any dart known by man or cat.
I'm sorry, it was a silly question I should have known.
Nice.
Just picks it up. Is it like in a usable condition?
It is. If you clip off the little bit of twine at the end, you could throw this thing.
Hell yeah. Alright.
You can add a poison dart to your inventory.
Well, these little beings are either very cautious or very violent. Perhaps it might be best just to check out this potential crash site and get the hell out of this godforsaken poison jungle sooner rather than later.
oh, it's kind of fun though, isn't it?
I can appreciate the wilderness, but the jungle is a little bit much for me.
Oh, alright. Agree to disagree.
Let's go to the desert. Oh, I'd love to visit my homeland.
I would too. That sounds like a lot of fun. Oh, do you think there might be some of the, the good stuff?
What's the good stuff?
You know, the nip.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm sure I've got family there. I mean, I'm a tabaxi. There's probably like 100 or 2 that are related to me.
Oh, that seems excessive.
Yeah,
Well, there-
tabaxi things.
While they're gone, I start breaking down camp.
Okay. Eventually, you guys gather yourselves together and continue on your trek. When you finally open up into a new area here, you guys can see past just like a very basic line of jungle trees what looks to be a disturbance in the area, and further ahead you see the gnarled wreckage of some sort of large ship, the colors of iron, steel, the gray on wood. There's something up ahead, and when you step out into that clearing, there it is. There's no burning flames, nothing like that, but there is a large, almost like skeletal part of an airship here in front of you. It looks weathered, and even though this crash must have taken place, in recent history, this thing has been picked pretty bad. And just from looking at it as well, you can easily see that this is only part of the ship. Like, you're staring at the front half. The back half is nowhere to be found. The whole clearing is probably about, I'd say, like that big, and you guys would be entering from over here. It's just like massive parts of it all over the place, but there's clearly portions missing from the thing.
Wow, it's true. It's really here.
Some of the parts rise up like 3 or 4 stories, and you can see already, even though this must have been recent, that on the outskirts of this clearing, where there are broken jungle trees, presumably from when this thing fell, that there's already lichens and vines that are starting to grow on parts on the outside edge. You even see what looks like creatures that are already living here. When you step up, there's something almost like weaselly or a ferret-like that kind of is on top of one of the pieces, looks over, and then darts and runs away.
Right, should we make ourselves known? Or should we just go in quiet?
This thing is amazing.
Right, this is kind of what it's all about. That's why I told you this place was.
Well, it's nothing compared to what these things look like when they're still in one piece. This was a magnificent ship. But look, it's not even the whole thing. This is only about half of it.
Yeah.
Well, I can't quite see anything other than perhaps some of these jungle creatures. Let's go have a look at this place.
Huh?
Keep your eyes peeled. There might be stuff that others have missed, and if you've got any idea of who else might have been here before us, remember there's more of the ship out there somewhere. So any clues to perhaps where that might be will be helpful.
What exactly are you looking for here?
Anything and
mechanical?
everything.
Yeah, anything mechanical, magical. If you see anything of our nature, look for that. I'll be looking out for some of the more wizardry stuff. Had a friend show me what that looks like the other day. But anything that looks really important metal-wise, point Kolkos or Mackinac towards it. And
Yes,
then
if it
anything
looks
that
complicated. Go ahead.
anything that has a little bit of gold to it, be sure to show Earl.
Metal and complicated. Got it.
And gold.
Yes.
Remember gold. Gold Earl.
Yes, that would be much appreciated.
Oh, and well, I guess the main reason that we came for our friend Fovechi back in town, we're looking for a
Corpse.
well, we're not bringing the corpse back. We're looking for a ring of his friend who was on this ship. Okay, it was right ahead. Nice. Yes, if you see any bodies or anything, it is a ring of a noble
Colsey.
friend of Fovechi back in town. Yes, Colsey.
I'll mold Earth be the shape of the like signet. Look for something that kind of looks like that. That's what we're looking for. As far as a signet ring goes.
All right. Can't make any promises, but I'll keep an eye out.
Perfect. That's all we need.
Okay. Now, as you guys enter into the area, I'll point out a few things that you immediately notice. Over towards the center of the wreckage, it almost looks as though a pond has been struck by this thing, or perhaps the large indent and crater that it's made in the ground has been filled with water. There's a walkway that kind of goes in between, like a three-way intersection, and three little bodies of water, some of which seem to actually be partially connected to the actual parts of ship. So partially submerged, there's this portion here, and partially submerged, there's this one as well. Some of these parts are recognizable, especially to you who lived in Vossenox. So for Lenry, this is all just, God, what am I looking at? But for those of you who've lived around airships, you can see this is the front, right? So you have the bow of the ship. And then over here you have a side portion, which is in really bad shape, but it's quite large. There are some extra little bits that are kind of unidentifiable. And then just off in the distance, kind of through some of the wreckage here, you can see what looks like an upper portion of the ship, like a top deck and some of the lower floors. Now you guys can kind of put yourselves wherever you want to be, move around and everything. It's up to you.
Alright, well, salvage team, fan out. I'm sure we've done this before, so any of the bigger pieces, I'll probably climb up, and I'm assuming things like the water would be searched by Mackinac and Gaius.
Okay, I am going to put your cart in gray right here. If you guys want to move it, just let me know. So I'd say it's probably about yay-ish big. Does that seem about right?
Yep.
I'm just gonna check like the smaller pieces. I don't Lenley doesn't really know what she's looking for, so
Sure.
she'll leave like the big stuff to the people who do.
So you guys kind of go wandering into this thing, and there's a lot to look at. Lenry, you don't really know what it is that you're looking for, so I'd like you to make an investigation check to find something of value, but do so with disadvantage. This could be re-rolled. Actually, oh, it's so close. I think we'll give that to you. Oh wait, no, sorry, it's a disadvantage. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's the 6 anyways.
I mean, I can roll lower.
Yeah,
Now I
that's
feel
what
like an
you're going
asshole.
for.
You could have the 6.
That's an 8.
Yeah, take that 20 you can't have. Okay, so you go looking around, and
I mean,
everything
kind and gracious DM.
everything is like metal and wood, and you see like gnarled pipes that are broken, and like stray bits of like slowly rusting metal in the damp dirt nearby, and you're just like, why would anybody want any of this? You don't even know what you're looking at. You don't see any, gold pieces or anything like that. But you continue to sift through it. Maybe there's something in here. Next up, let's do Coalcoat. Make an investigation
forming-
check for that part.
Neat piles of junk, I guess.
Okay.
It's all junk.
Yeah, with the skill set of climbing, like, it's not really that great. It's only a 13, but I'd probably be trying to climb into anywhere that would be harder to access for a regular person.
Sure. Now, as you climb into here, you get onto one of the decks that seems to be pretty well preserved, and it's kind of neat. It's like you're standing in an airship during a really turbulent flight when the whole thing is like horribly tipped to one side. It's enough that you have to kind of grab onto things to maneuver around, but it's cool to see something like that. It's like being in a house that everyone's kind of just lifted up on one end. And as you step into there, you can see the remnants, sort of different rooms, which have been basically cut off before the end wall. So there isn't really a lot of space to move around, and everything is very complicated, but there's a good amount which is still intact. And as you go looking around, you find that there are bits of furniture and things like that, as well as some bodies that are in here. But the bodies are... they're very much like what you found back at the hills, where the humans that were left here had been picked clean. And on their corpses, there's very little flesh left, just like tiny little strips here and there, which is kind of dried out. And whatever lives in this jungle has clearly come here and devoured what was left of it, leaving just kind of skeletons in the rooms. Now, as you go looking around, today must be a particularly fortunate day, because one of the very first corpses that you check has the ring on it. And you see there, yeah, that's scattered. There's like a very sort of disheveled hand where the skin has like become incredibly dried and pulled taut, and there, sort of hanging loosely, almost like stuck to a dead piece of skin, is Kalsi's ring.
Does it look like does it look like they had a very painful death?
It's very difficult to tell. Make a medicine check, actually. Do you have medicine proficiency?
Well, let's take a look. Not proficient.
Okay,
I got plus
so
2 in it.
You can roll it anyway. This isn't, a medical opinion, just your guess as a layman.
My
looking at this.
guess. That's a 19.
Okay. You don't know for sure how much pain there was to be had, but you notice that Kalsi's body is in 2 parts, and has been... There's kind of like his legs and his pelvis in one end of the room, and then on the other end of the room is the rest of him with the ring.
Ew.
It's back in our somewhere, it's just like,
I'll say a little prayer to Titan for the departed here.
Okay.
And I guess I'll just, do a final... tuck the ring away and do a final sweep of everything.
Sure.
If there's anything that looks like it might be Kalsi's personal belongings, maybe bring that too if I find anything.
For sure. Yeah, maybe this is his room. You continue to look. This is a big section. You're going to be here for a little bit.
Yep.
Next up, you guys have started to wander in towards the main area, and I want the 3 of you to make a perception check, please, as you do.
Alright.
Straight perception.
Straight perception.
15.
That's a 4.
Okay. 4? What's that?
That's 13.
Okay. Gaius and Erlebald, as you kind of comb around here, you notice that at the center of this little area where there's the 3 sort of like lakes that have been made out of the craters here, there's a hidden campfire. It's the remnants of somebody's campfire that's been covered in dirt and kind of patted down to make it look like there was no campfire here, but you kind of spot like a little stray piece of charcoal sort of thing laying there. And as you step closer, you notice, like, oh, that's definitely what that is. There was a fire pit here at some point.
Right, found remnants of the other scavengers. Keep on scouring. I'd probably go underwater if it looks not terribly murky.
Sure. The water seems pretty clear, actually. You can see portions of the ship, like, underneath there. Lower decks that are submerged in the water.
Alright.
Are you diving in?
I have a swim speed of 30 feet, so...
Okay. Erlebald, you watch as Gaius points out the thing, you see it too and nod to him, and then before long, he leaps into the water and starts to swim down below. Maknar and Erlebald, where are you guys going? You can hear a cold coat behind you rummaging around in one of the rooms, and the same thing with Lenry kind of combing in there. A splash from over in this
Do I
direction.
need to breathe?
Do you need to breathe? No.
Ah, perfect. I will check this pond, like going straight to the bottom.
Sure.
Not sure if I actually swim or sink or
Can
what
your
the ruling is
furnace?
gonna be.
I would say
Go
that you
out?
sink slowly. It's kind of like...
Oh, yeah, is that a concern?
Oh,
Like
the
Titan
furnace?
of that? Yeah.
I would say that the furnace definitely goes out when you enter into the water, and if you wanted to use that feature after having been submerged in the water, you would probably have to wait like an hour or two to dry off before you could use it. So whether or not you want to go in there now that you know that is fine if you want to retroactively not.
It's not like damaging me in any way. It's just like I need to dry out before I
No,
can turn
you
it
just
on.
won't be able to start the engine up immediately.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's fine.
I
Okay.
thought the furnace was like his power.
No, it's not like his heart. It's just like an added boost that he can use. So you wander into here and go looking around. And Erlebald, what are you doing?
I'm digging around the bottom and whatnot. Find anything?
Two of your crazy companions have just gone into the lake. There's a lake left if you wanted to.
He's just gonna walk up to the lake, and then I'd rather not, and then just look around the campfire,
Sure.
see if he can spot anything that someone left behind.
Yeah, let me make a luck roll for you. You find that this area has been pretty well combed up, and you might be able to find something if you dig around in the dirt in the campfire itself, but left on the surface, there's nothing. Just a stray piece of charcoal here and there.
You
We've got a
might
pickaxe
as
and shovel for this excursion, right?
I don't know. Did you guys bring a shovel? Check the cart.
probably. Question mark.
God damn, it's the first time we needed something and we don't have it.
Cart inventory, crowbar, map, scroll. Yeah, you don't have one.
Tell me where to dig.
Crowbar is just a shovel. Like,
I
it's
need-
the same thing.
Sure, yeah, you can dig slowly with the crowbar. Make an investigation check.
Shape Earth.
Sure. No, I'm just gonna wait for him to shape Earth, but
Okay, you just stare at the campfire.
yes.
Before we get into the next bit, if you guys don't mind, could we take like a quick 2-minute break? I just drank too much coffee.
Oh no.
The DM guy go pee.
Exactly. Would you guys mind doing that?
Yeah, no, let's go.
Sure,
Okay,
go for
cool.
it.
We'll be
Yeah,
right
I mean,
back.
I'm not gonna find anything of importance.
Yo, this salvage seems pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Cover pretty much anything.
Well,
God,
we found the
druids
ring.
are just
Holy
the best.
hell. The fact that you found the ring right off the bat. Oh my god.
Did he make a luck roll for that, or was that just?
I don't know.
Well,
Just
if we
like-
found it that quickly, that means there's a whole shitload more stuff to figure out with this crash, right? Like, why were there other people here if we're the only ones that we had thought knew about it?
I'm just terrified that these are Yuan-Ti and we're all gonna die. I distrust this jungle immensely.
I also distrust this jungle, and I'm not sure what to think of these frog people. I thought they were gonna be
Oh,
chill,
God.
but now that their darts are like going to kill, I don't know.
The second he mentioned that there was someone watching Colcoat, I thought they were just. There's no way they weren't the Yuan-Ti and were just gonna kill us.
When he said they're small, that's why I'm like, okay, we'll be chill. I'll just give them some food. You know, we're not here to fuck around with you. Leave us alone. But yeah, poison dart. I don't know.
Hey, I mean,
Doesn't
I worked out
exactly-
fine.
for Earl.
yeah, you got a poison dart. Although I'm pretty sure every monster we'll find in the jungle is immune to poison.
It'll be better saved for some other point. Yeah, but next to
Yeah.
start though, right? Like we can get poisonous darts, explosive darts. Like just load you up with a magical dart,
Ugh.
everything, man.
Hell yeah. And I want a Green Arrow style, what's it called, boxer's glove dart. Just knocks people out.
Oh, you'll just start the encounter and like all of a sudden fan out a bunch of darts in your hand, right? Decide which one you want, pick that one, throw it.
God, I'm so glad that we level super slowly, because I am just the most indecisive as to where I want to go.
I just want level 3 so I can get that like planar sense shit.
Oh yeah, and you get the bonus action add 1d8 or something like that.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna coward out and go for a darts thrower, plural.
Well, the dream is like when you can get to higher levels with this subclass, and then you just basically like blink around the battlefield.
Oh yeah. I think that's level 11?
It's
right?
way down the line. We'll probably
Yeah.
I'll probably die long before then, but the dream is nice.
Okay, I'm back.
He's back.
Let's see here. Perfect. Okay. So, you have checked out the campfire. Gaius and Mackinac are in here. How about we make an investigation check for Gaius and Mackinac?
All right. And I can breathe underwater. Hey, that what? What is that?
I don't know. What are those?
17 for me.
That's an 18 for me.
17, 18. Alright, let's roll some luck. Mackinac, you get a... Okay. And Gaius... Okay. You wander off into the bodies of water here and find that parts of the ship have become the lake bottom of these little pools. And as you sift around pulling out the parts, you both find very little of anything valuable. And it doesn't really seem like there's anything good. The only thing really noticeable that might be of value is Gaius, you see what looks like a longsword laying on the bottom. It's like handle kind of poking out of the mud from the bottom of the body of water.
Oh, I'll try grabbing that.
Sure. You can add a longsword to your inventory.
Okay. By that I mean I will grab it and I will bring it over to the cart because I don't have much inventory space.
Okay, so you get that and start to wander off towards the cart. Mackinac, you find nothing. The parts that are left here are worth money as scrap metal, potentially. It might be worth taking them to get, like a few silver here and a few silver there if you guys can't find anything of true value. But that's all there really is down there.
Okay. So I'll come out of that pond, move towards this one, which has
Sure.
part of the airship submerged.
It does, yes. This lower part. So you would estimate that the water probably fills into at least this much of the lower decks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make another check for you, Coalcoat. You see Gaius outside, he drops off like a sword into the thing and then goes wandering back off. And Coalcoat, make another investigation check. Balls. Make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh damn.
Alright. By the way, you're muted, just in case you didn't know.
I did not. 20.
You step forward and go to move to the next room, and as you try to kind of push your body around a portion of wall where there is no floor underneath to get into the next room, you nearly slip and manage to hold on, narrowly avoiding a tumble into a bunch of rebar and some like jagged wood beneath. You get into the next room and start to look around and find that it's bust and start to go kind of rifling around, but you find nothing there. There's one section of ship left in this direction that you can go and give a look to.
When I fall and catch myself, I'll just kind of say to myself, "Oh, six left."
Over here, Lenry, how about you make me a check?
Am I still at disadvantage?
Yes.
Um, 9.
Okay. You get over here, and as you open up one of the areas, kind of pulling apart a piece of wood to see what's inside the compartment there, you see a bunch of luggage that's there. It's like a chest that somebody would use to keep their belongings on the road, and it's been broken open, and there's a bunch of clothes spilt all over the ground.
So look through it.
Okay. The clothes are actually kind of nice, and though you don't find anything else really valuable in this trunk, as it just seems to be clothes and clothes and clothes, you do, however, happen to find a bunch of cloth and whatnot that would be suitable for nobles. You're pretty sure that this would actually be worth like a few gold.
Well, put it all back in the suitcase.
Sure.
Take it to the cart.
Okay. So you guys can add to the cart that longsword, and you can also add to the cart a suitcase of noble clothing. Mackinac, did you make an investigation check for this water yet?
I have not.
Please do so.
I've received.
Oh no!
Oh,
Okay.
that was almost a good roll. It's almost.
You get down to the bottom and start looking around. You find what looks to be a trunk that's been left down here. And thankfully, the lock is kind of rusted over and busted. As you reach towards the thing and go to lift it, the lock breaks off, and you see inside what appears to be some snake-like thing in the water that leaps out at you. An eel attempts to bite you. Does a 7 hit.
It does not.
You pull back your hand and the thing misses, and then coils back into the chest, like you've just opened the door to a house that does not want any company. It looks at you with prey eyes as though it's ready to strike you once more.
Having studied Gaius and his way of dealing with animals, I will attempt to speak with it.
Okay. You make
Bubbles
sounds
rise
throughout the
out.
water. And as your voice box begins to work there, the thing kind of coils back into its home again and then strikes out at you a second time. This time does an 8 hit?
No.
Okay. It strikes again, and this time you pull back and it misses. And then in response, it actually leaves its home. You watch as it scurries out of another part of the chest, which is currently broken, and disappears towards something else off into a different part of the pool.
I will follow it.
Okay. So you follow off in this direction. Okay. You find what looks like a submerged box in the ground. It also looks like a piece of luggage, and this thing has taken up residence in there. And you can see it's partially covered in like damp and dissolving cloth, and seems to hide in there and stares at you as you approach.
I wouldn't have any rations on me.
Could I jump into this?
If you did, they're probably not good to eat anymore.
No. I'll ignore the new residents of the eel for now and continue searching toward the bottom of this pond here.
Sure. What did you want to do there, guys?
Could I jump into that pool as well?
Sure. Yeah, you walk back. Erlebald, what are you up to?
I guess he's just searching around. He's not as specialized as his allies for this.
I mean, you got me beat.
guess we'll look over here.
Sure. Guys, you jump into this pool of water as well, and Erlebald, you can make an investigation check as you go over to that bit of wreckage.
That's an 11.
Okay. You wander over and find that this broken heap doesn't seem to have anything of value in it. There's no golden dart, no machinery that really seems valuable. It's just a bunch of old wood and metal that could maybe be reused if it was melted down. Guys, you leap into the water over here and soon sink to the bottom and start to wander around. Find that this place is not necessarily devoid of life. There are small little watery critters that kind of swim here and there, though they don't seem to bother you. They just kind of move away when you land in the dirt nearby and kind of take residence in other spots. You can also wander into the airship husk itself, which is partially submerged too.
Sure. Go
Okay.
do that.
Make an investigation check, please.
That's a 4.
Guys, we're blowing it.
Yep.
Okay. You start to hunt around in here and find what looks like a maintenance room of some kind that has a bunch of machinery that might be useful. As you step up to it and look around, you find that most of it is pretty badly torn up, and you're not really sure what you're going to be able to salvage from this, if anything.
We'll probably try to grab something reasonable that looks slightly not broken, but I don't know, somewhat useful, and try to tear it off, or at least mark it and like try to bring Macnar over.
Sure. While this is happening, Lenry, you can move yourself to a new spot, and Colcoat, you can make a investigation check for the last part of this piece of wreckage.
God damn it.
Oh,
13.
Okay. Let's see.
Nope, 12. That was
12?
12.
When you step into this area, you do find something of value. Much like the other room, this one has some corpses in it, and on one of them you find what looks like a golden bracelet.
Alright, I'll take that and stick it in my bag.
Okay. Lenry, you can make an investigation check. This time do it just normally. You've been through it, and you kind of have an idea of what you're looking for now.
Fuck.
But there's
Thanks.
little to find here. Mackinac, as you're over here, having terrorized a few of the water's denizens, what do you want to do?
If I find nothing else at the pond bottom, I'll proceed to the submerged section of the airship.
Okay. The submerged section has 2 doors, one of which Gaius is currently in, and he's kind of fiddling around in there. You can see him. And the other one is in front of you, partially broken, so you could easily pull it off and step inside. Make an investigation check.
Seven. How could everything be so bad?
Okay. You step into this room and find something similar to the one that Gaius is in. It's a machinery room with an actual abundance of parts that could potentially be useful, but it is in bad shape. And being the side which is submerged in the water here, you see a whole bunch of pieces that are all rusted and messed up, as well as just like, you know, pipes that are broken and wiring that is not going to be usable anymore. It's not really great at all. There's probably a few gold worth of parts here that you could take. You definitely have to clean them up afterwards, though.
Okay.
Now, let's see. This is completely gone through. This has gone through. This has gone through. There are 2 portions left to this, the upper areas, and 1 portion left to this. So, Lenry, how about you go ahead and make another investigation check?
Sure, I'll head over that way once I get up with this one.
Oh my fucking god.
I need you to make for me a dexterity check as well, please. Saving throw.
13.
13. Okay. Coco, you're wandering by, stepping in between these two bodies of water, when from over here you hear the sound of metal falling, and watches watches a bunch of pipes and some pieces of wood kind of clatter down from one of the upper areas and tumble down into the lower ones, and you briefly see what looks like Lenry's boot pierce through the floor, but then pull back up.
Oh, shut up. I'm alright.
Are you sure? That was kind of close.
No,
Do you need help?
I'm fine.
I'd like you to make a perception check, please, Lenry, as you pull your your foot back out of the ground.
I'm a foot. 13.
Okay.
Not bad.
Your boot seems to be okay, and you managed to avoid taking any damage, though you can tell the fall would have been fairly perilous, and tumbling through multiple floors into the water could have been bad, especially if you got knocked out. Colcoat, you wander over here, and there are 2 spots left that can be checked. Let's see. I would like the 3 of you to make initiative checks, actually. Erlebald, are you going to go over here and look as well?
Yes.
Okay, all 4 of you make initiative checks. The 2 highest will be the ones that make the initiative rolls. Or, sorry, the investigation rolls.
That is a 17.
17, okay.
I got 50.
$16, 15, 17. So I think the 17 and 16 are the highest. So, who got that 17?
I did.
Okay. Erlebald and Gaius, please make rolls, checking out this last bit, as you guys all kind of crowd around over here. And I'll assume, for the sake of simplicity, that Lenry kind of gets over here at this point, too.
Yeah, I very cautiously get myself out of that.
Yeah,
Oh, it's a 9.
That's 14. No, 18.
Okay. Rolling luck
Whoa,
for
your
the first one.
investigation's high.
Gaius, you find... you find a couple of usable portions here that might come in handy. There is the remnants of a cannon here. It's like the chassis that would hold on to it. That's actually in very good shape. It's pretty bulky and would take up most of the space in the cart, but it's actually salvage that doesn't really need much cleaning up. You could just take that. You'll need people to help you kind of drag it off of the second floor here, but it would definitely be worth some gold. Now, as for you, Erlebald, in the other room, you find... Yeah. As you come up to this final room here, you look around, and the only thing of value that you find is tumbled into the ground. There is a bunch of broken glass, and amidst the broken glass is like silverware and cutlery and things like that. However, you do find what looks to be a candlestick that is made of gold.
Oh.
So you could take that and add it to the cart as well.
Yeah, we'll take that and add it to the cart then.
Okay.
Probably go back out and try to grab Mackinac and show him the cannon.
Sure. So it's not the cannon itself, but the sort of
chassis.
casing that it sits in that you would need to have so that you can turn it and aim it around as well as load it. All the accoutrements that a cannon needs to be functional on a ship like this. The cannon itself is missing. Who knows where that thing's gone off to?
That's probably what Lug's got.
So you take this candle holder, and soon everybody's crowded into one of the rooms over here. It's on the second floor, and the floorboards seem to be stable enough. It's not like some of the other stuff that's rather rickety. This section is in pretty good shape, and this cannon chassis seems to be pretty good, although it's quite heavy. You guys are all gathered around.
Have we looked at this section?
Oh, no, you haven't.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that after, and then if we haven't found anything good at all, just literally shred like pieces of metal apart, just so that we can bring back a bunch of scrap metal, so that we have extra to use.
I'm not very strong, so I'll go looks.
Yeah.
Okay, so you four start to work on this thing and go ahead with decoupling it from the ground. There's a bunch of screws that kind of hold it in place and then start dragging the thing off. It's tough, but the fact that this is kind of tilted lets you slide it on the floor with ease. Lenry, go ahead and make an investigation check as you go and see what's over here.
Ah, fuck you. 10.
Okay, let's see what you find. This portion of the ship does not seem to have much in it at all, and after looking around, you find a bunch of scrap, but nothing else.
Well, at least we aren't rolling like shit during a fight. This is pretty
true.
bad, but at least we're not gonna die from it.
Now, you guys are over here, and you managed to kind of drag this thing out, and you're about here, traveling towards the cart. When Lenry, you go looking around, you kind of get back, you see the group probably right about there. The four of you are probably sort of set up like this. Maybe dragging this thing. Then Lenry. Does a 22 hit you?
Yeah, kinda.
Okay. I need a Constitution saving throw from you, please.
Oh, so they were aggressive. Lovely. 14.
14. Okay.
Gonna go ahead and assume that fails because luck.
You're walking back towards the group when you feel a pinprick suddenly in the side of your arm. It's unpleasant. It's not like one of the mosquito bites you've gotten, and as you look over, you see a small dart there and feel like a horrible throbbing sense through your arm. You take 6 damage from the dart itself and feel a poison that your body is desperately fighting against. Something has just stuck you. Make a perception check.
15.
As you look around, you momentarily see what must be 2 small frog creatures over here in the bush. One of them is green and is very, very difficult to see, while the other one looks kind of like yellowish or some sort of other tint, and they're both watching you intently. One of them has a blow dart in his hands, and when you make eye contact with them, they suddenly scurry off and run away.
Well, I yank the dart out of my arm and throw it down.
Okay?
Then I start running towards my parties.
Okay. Lenry runs up to you guys.
Give us a hand.
You look so good.
So those things are back,
What?
and they shot me.
Are you okay?
Definitely poison.
Lenry looks a little bit pale, but still in reasonable health.
I don't have a spell to get rid of it. So
No, neither do I. That's not until later.
So did they shoot darts at you? Did you pick any of them up with you?
there was a dart in my arm.
Oh,
Erleball, does a 12 hit you?
a 12 does not hit me.
Okay. You're holding on to one of the corners of this large, heavy object when a dart just sticks into the side of it like 3 inches away from your hand.
Well, there it is.
I'd like to raise my arms and speak loudly. Can you please stop shooting darts at us?
As Mackinac calls out loudly into the surrounding area, you guys hear what sounds like a flurry of footsteps from all around you.
I'm good.
It's
Just
like-
look
I
at it.
believe it worked.
In all the
I'm gonna
surrounding
look at-
trees. There's no darts being fired, but you hear like over here, over here, over here. There's like all sorts of little footsteps all over the place.
I'm gonna look at Lenry and just be like, alright, if this gets ugly, we need you to not be hurting. And I'm gonna healing word.
Okay?
Does
Go ahead and
anybody
roll the heal.
speak frog?
Or that's not the right thing.
A D20 heal.
I'll take it.
That's 5 health back.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
No, I don't really speak frog.
The jungle comes alive with the sound of small pitter-patter here and there. What are you guys doing?
Do we want to initiate on them, or do we just leave them be?
They're attacking us. We should probably take cover.
You watch, suddenly, as a very brightly colored thing of a pinkish color leaps out from over here. It's a small frog-like creature, maybe about 2 feet tall, and it jumps onto the top of this this wreckage over here. 2 seconds. There we go. As it steps on top, you can see that it has something in its hand, a tool of some kind. It takes you a moment to realize it's a spear. It holds it up over its head and lets out a croak, and suddenly frog creatures start appearing everywhere. And we will end the session there.
Yay! We finally went on the excursion!
Hell yeah.
And have been blowing!
Oh, you irony claws.
Well, here's what we do.
Oh.
I'm gonna sit in this cannon thing, and you guys spin me around, and I can shoot them.
We'll put you and Earl in there. You shoot, he throws darts.
Yeah, I'll face one
Jesus
direction, he'll face
Christ.
the other, and we'll just, you know.
That's
a
a lot of little frog boys.
So you guys have a week to figure out how the fuck you're getting out of this one.
Let me learn how to speak frog, goddammit.
I mean, as soon as we start next session, I will definitely try and see if I know what they are.
Yeah, exactly. That is more or less.
I mean, they're sentient.
So yeah, I think you guys did pretty good. I'd like to thank the players. Despite your horrid rolls, you still managed to accomplish a quest. You fixed up the crime in Vosnux, and you're soon about to donate your fresh bodies to all of these strange frog creatures. So, very good work. To the audience, it's always good to have you. Hope it was fun to watch. And to all the patrons and people with biddies, you're the reasons we get to do this. Thank you very much. We'll catch you tomorrow for a radical difference with Wednesday, the poorest group, and then Thursday, a group which may be possibly more close to death than these guys. So we will see you then. Adios.
Please. Is Thursday actually that close
Dude,
to death?
did you watch the game? Did you watch that week? Holy fuck.
What happened?
They got a puzzle box.
Oh,
Oh.
And then
Yeah, that-
everything went downhill.